Finishing the intro song for his 3-bit.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to FSP episode number 22. Thanks for tuning in. We gonna have an interesting week because there's not a lot of news, but there's a lot of discussion to have over just random nonsense that's been going on the internet, and kind of brought up some questions over like what do we consider valuable and why do people feel the need to say certain things on social media and kind of spread weird mentalities and stuff. I don't know, man. It's been really interesting, but like we got a lot to talk about, so we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna compare the value of Game Pass to other services out there. We're going to look at what it offers and see if it's something that we each find valuable, and maybe if you do also. So that's kind of what this episode is gonna be a little different because there's like really no big news to talk about, and then we'll follow it up with Tidbits, our usual segment on FSP now. And as always, want to say shout out to the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. I feel a little pressure because we got somebody in the chat saying, "Hey, first time listener, we better be good or else." We'll give it our best shot. But thanks to our panel for always being here. Amazing 3-bit. What's up, 3-bit?
Hey guys. I'm going to announce that I'm keeping my Game Pass subscription today.
Oh, thanks for that. It was very important and valid that you needed to
I thought I need to address to everybody that I'm keeping my Netflix as well.
Any other subscription services you're either keeping or unsubscribing to?
I might get rid of Paramount Plus now that Halo's done.
Okay.
But
just make sure when you do it, you let us know on social media because it's very important.
I will make sure I tell everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Make sure you retweet.
I appreciate it because we all care. We really do.
Okay. Thank you.
No,
I'm doing good.
Are you doing good?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
Yeah. Besides that, I'm doing good.
You've been busy, man. I haven't seen you around. You've been hanging out. You've been doing some fun things.
Yeah. Been bowling. I went bowling.
Cool. Bowling.
I've been working on a lot of commercials for Aflac, so I kind of been like heads down, just doing some stuff for them, and I'll show you guys in the DMs later. But it's crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Dude, I like seeing that stuff. It's really cool. Behind the scenes.
Heck yeah!
And shout out to Al, always Fuzzy Belvedere. Thanks for being here as always, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Oh man, just everybody announcing their subscription stuff. I'm surprised nobody talked about OnlyFans or anything along those lines.
Did you
No, but
unsubscribe
in all
from anybody on there, Fuzzy?
no, but in all seriousness, I'm also keeping my my Game Pass subscription. I mean, I get it for free because I do the Microsoft rewards points, but you know, in any event, also keeping Netflix and I think my kids still have their Spotify. I'm looking to get rid of Hulu because nobody in the
Not
house seems to watch
Hulu.
Hulu. Well, no, it's I wanted to keep it, and then everybody started watching everything but Hulu. So it's like, why am I?
Hulu's got a big show coming out in June. I'm gonna get Hulu for. So,
I guess I guess I probably should keep it.
it's the Orville. I don't know if you care about that, but that's what I'm getting.
What?
No, but
what?
other than that,
Orville?
just
That's
playing
Trek.
some games and watching people have breakdowns on Twitter, announcing that they're leaving. But it's almost like they should have like a song play, like na 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 na,
Tiny
type of
violin.
So yeah, that's all I got. But man, oh man, it's gonna be fun tonight.
Uncle Mike says Orville is so much fun. I haven't seen that.
Sounds familiar.
It's Seth MacFarlane's like parody take on Star Trek.
Oh yes, okay. Not familiar with what that is. I haven't watched it. Is it good though?
Yeah, good. It was better than the new Star Trek that they made until I guess Strange New Worlds. So
okay, right on. And shout out to the Trekkie among us here, the realist, the lore master himself, Jasper. What's up, dude?
Going pretty good. Just found out they're making a new Destroy All Humans. Kind of got leaked a few minutes ago, so I've been looking into that.
Again, where there's smoke, there's fire. Sometimes, when they release a remaster is for a reason to see if there's any hype behind the franchise. Maybe that was kind of preemptive to what this game is. You said it seems like it's a PV. It's got PvP or something on it.
Yeah, from what I tell. What I can tell is they took the first game they remastered and they're adding a multiplayer component to it. So you get all like the same levels from the first remaster, but you get to run around with friends and stuff now and blow stuff up.
Okay. Interesting.
Cool.
Could be good.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems like a smaller game, but before they put out the second remaster.
Oh, so it's not a big AAA.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter then. It doesn't count.
Okay.
That's all we care about here on FSP is big AAA games. We don't talk about indie games. We don't talk about AA games. We don't talk about anything else out there. It's only got to be the games that took $500 million plus to make, to get discussed here. And also, that's all that we find valuable for our subscriptions, obviously. So,
yes, is the alien getting revenge with a bat?
What?
Is he getting revenge against the humans? Destroy all humans. Is he getting revenge?
Well, with a bat?
With a baseball bat?
No, he uses ray guns.
Yeah, where's the why does he
no
have
bat?
No, he flies around in space. Have you ever played Destroy All Humans 3-bit?
No.
I can tell right now.
No, I
yeah. So you fly around this little ship, and like beam. You can like suck up cows and like beam people up, and you can like destroy things, and you can go down and run around. And
doesn't he have like a voice like come on guys? Is it something like that? Destroy. Am I thinking about the same game?
That's a fair. I guess that's sort of like it. I'd have to go like play it after. I'm gonna play it after and see how close it is.
I remember his voice didn't really match.
He's like this, everybody. Like my name.
It's like a.
Man.
It's kind of.
I remember it's like deeper.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like an old man voice, kind of like you would get from like a Splinter Cell or something like that.
Get off my lawn!
No, I don't remember, like, dude.
Come on, guys.
I'm thinking of Marvin Martian.
Yeah, I don't think it's
not
like
Marvin the Martian. It's not like that.
It's more of like. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it. We'll try it out.
It was a Joel bat joke, and it was really bad. So we can move on.
A Joel bat joke?
Yeah, from Last of Us 2.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that.
But we can move on.
Yeah, I didn't play that game. So. All right. Can we just keep discussing this?
Yeah, I'm looking up the guy's voice now. So
All right, you looking it up? You gonna play a clip?
no, I was just looking it up to see who it was.
Because I think that was the one thing I remember. Like there was an original demo on the
Yeah.
Xbox, and I remember the alien's voice not being what I imagined. Because usually alien voices are like beep boop or like
That's
we
that's
are
more
here to
robots.
take your leader. So I don't know,
We're
something like
we're here
that.
to take your leader. Okay.
And it was more like
Like
deeper and
darker,
raspy.
and more like
He played Dan Johnson in
yeah.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, that's filmed here. The original, it was at least in this area. I remember there when I was a kid, like occasionally there'd be explosions outside, like loud, as kids were like doing stunt things for that show.
That was just Chuck Norris kicks.
That was true. That was just in push-ups. That's push-ups, right? All right, okay, everybody, let's get into this topic at hand. So, somebody started a trend the other day, and I think it was somebody that's a writer for like a magazine or something, and or a website. Magazines don't exist anymore. Sorry, a website, and they were like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna unsubscribe to Game Pass. Just have to admit to myself that it doesn't really offer anything for me." Well, that's fine. Like one person says that or whatever, but then it started like a snowball effect where it's like, has anybody ever heard of something called hive mentality? Right, where it's like, somebody says something. Yeah, it's Gene Park. That's right. Somebody
That
says
was
something
crazy.
and it's like, oh, that really got a lot of attention, and I really think that's cool that that person said that. So I'm gonna go and say the same thing and do the same thing, and then somebody else does it. Well, then that person sees somebody else that sees that is like, oh, that really makes a lot of sense. I really like what they did because it's getting a lot of attention. So I think I'm gonna do the same thing. So all of a sudden, like you have this like weird like Twitter fest of unsubscribing orgies going on where people are just talking about everything that they want unsubscribing to. Is kind of strange, and I get that there's still disappointment about Starfield and Redfall delays, and we were been critical of Xbox as well for that, for not having more in store, or at least that we know about currently for us. But it kind of ran into like a little weird awkwardness online, and then you had the opposite come out to full force. Hello, everybody. I am still subscribed to Game Pass. Everybody, and then you have to have everybody make sure that everybody knows that they are still subscribed to a subscription service. And it just
Which
was like
team are you on?
it was kind of a
Are you
weird
on
like
Team Subside?
weird place on social media the last day and a half, kind of seeing all this like talk. This is what happens when there's no game news. It is. It's like what this gaming society cannot sustain itself without some kind of news. And we just like go into Lord of the Flies mode and just start like beating each other up and like creating these weird like cults and followings and stuff about you best believe what I believe, and it's kind of strange. So first I want to discuss like hive mentality in gaming. Is this like a problem that, or is this just like never going to change? Because I think I've come to the conclusion that a lot of people cannot think for themselves, or they don't want to, and they would rather do what they think is either cool or in the moment. And I don't know what the motivating factor is. That is it like is it like something that makes people feel good or something to like?
It's not just in gaming, and also I think people like they see it, but subconsciously they feel like it's their own thoughts, so they don't know.
Right. It's like it's a seed that gets planted and
Yeah.
it grows, right? Like, if you see people start playing a game and liking it, all of a sudden, ooh, I think I want to like that game and I want to play that game, right? And then it kind of grows. And then some people like begrudgingly play it when they hate the damn game. Like, I need to like this because everybody else is, and if I don't, then I'm not cool, right? Like, it's kind of weird, man. There's certain things that people are afraid to say that they don't like, or they're afraid to say that they do like because of this kind of like talk and stuff that goes on a lot. Like, y'all notice this? Is it just like,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely noticed it.
it's easier to notice when you're like outside just looking like at all these people posting the same thing. It's like you all did not just come to the same thought at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like clearly
Right. Weirdly, all of a sudden, a mass revelation among us all. Why did I spend $14.99 this past month? This must stop. Do you agree? We all agree. It's amazing. Let's post about it. No, that's not what happened. No, it's a weird like hive mentality thing. This goes with snowball effects when games have issues and like bugs. Sometimes gets taken way out of context. Sometimes it gets blown out of proportion. Sometimes it's like not a big
It's like
deal
a
and it gets really
pylon.
talked about. Sometimes it's a really big deal and nobody talks about it. You know, you can look at a game like Watch Dogs Legion that was completely erasing player data, had bugs out the ass all over the place. And you compare that to a game that released like Cyberpunk or, you know, other games that are really actually polished for the most part, but maybe lack some content, and those get blown out of proportion. Then you have games that release in the same pattern and condition that they always have, all of a sudden get trashed on, and all of a sudden, and it's just a different world now with social media. It's like you never know 100% what's going to start the conversation of if something's good or if something's bad. Is it okay? Is it not okay? And it just depends on sometimes like who these influencers or people are, the journalists or whatever, start these trends now. And I'm just I made a tweet like a couple weeks back as like shout out to everybody who can form their own opinions. It seems like it's a lost art these days. Fuzzy, have you noticed this trend? I've
yeah.
always noticed it, but it seems like even worse now. You know.
Well, I have a theory. Especially on
Okay.
Twitter, I blame the blue check mark. No, I'm just kidding.
Blame the blue check mark because if it validates their opinion, is basically
it seems to add more weight to whatever trend, however silly it may be. More times than not, if a blue check mark says it, then other people chime in saying the same thing. It's kind of like the pylon effect.
Yeah.
For me, like when I spend my money, if I'm willing to express my dissatisfaction with a company, I'll talk with the manager at the store or something like that. It's like, hey, can you resolve this? If not, okay. And it's not like I'm gonna slam the door and be like, oh, I'm never shopping here again. It's like, okay, I'm done talking. I'll move on, and then I effectively don't spend money there, but I don't have to tell them that. It's why.
Right.
It's like it doesn't do anything. Like if you couldn't get it resolved by talking it out before, by making the claim, oh, I'll never shop here again, it's not going to do anything. And besides, unless it's like a mom and pop shop where and you're in a small town and there's only like 20 or 30 possible customers for that place, it's not really going to be a big enough factor at that point. So this desire to proclaim on the internet, hey, I'm canceling my subscription because it has no value, but yet before the delay it had value, so obviously there was something in this subscription service that I guess was worth your attention and money prior, and then the delay, I guess, dramatically changed that.
Which is
But
so weird because Xbox has no games. So what were they paying for in the first place?
I don't know,
exactly. It's like, oh, you got the service with 400 plus games in it, and it's like, oh well, these 2 games are delayed, I'm gonna cancel. I mean, it's perfectly their right to cancel, but why post it on social media? It's like, I feel like I'm gonna eat I'm in the mood for a cheeseburger. You don't see me posting on social media I'm hungry for a cheeseburger. I mean, I just go and get the cheeseburger. Why I gotta tell people I want a cheeseburger? But I don't know. It's crazy.
You make a good point here because you made me think of something. This mass tweet situation here has really kind of made me realize how many people were actually subscribed to Game Pass that I never thought would have been in the first place. Like, wow, I wouldn't expect that person to be subscribed, because all they do is talk trash about Xbox all the time. It's insane. They were subscribed to Game Pass. What were they doing? Like, why did they do that? Because all I ever see them is talk shit. So how are they? That's amazing.
It was funny. The tweet that I guess this came from is what was his name, Gene Park or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't necessarily even have any
And
issues with what he said either. I mean, it's like, okay,
but
one
what I
person says it, but it's like what it starts is another thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, that you're talking about the hive mind
Right.
mentality of it, and I just thought it was hilarious where you're saying I'm unsubscribing from Xbox Game Pass, and then like the post the next day or so he's posting about like I just bought these games because I love them, and those games are all on Game Pass. I thought that was hilarious. Like,
No, really. I didn't
yeah,
even notice
like
that.
he was saying like I'm unsubscribing for Game Pass, but and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna buy these games because they're gonna break the bank for me. And then the games he's mentioned, like some of them were on Game Pass or coming to Game Pass. So I'm like, guys, I don't know. Like, sure, do what you need to do. If you need to unsubscribe because it's not fitting, like you were promised
Yeah.
only AAA games, I guess, then you could wait. There are times I unsubscribe from services till I wait till they have the content I want, and then I'll subscribe. Like I've done that with HBO like a million times. Like I'll unsubscribe from HBO. The Batman comes on, I'm like, okay, I'm immediately subscribing, right? So it's all dependent on what content you're personally looking for. I think Game Pass has a lot of amazing content on there already, but maybe there's some things you're still waiting on, or some things you're specifically you subscribe for, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait. But the whole mentality of just like everyone's like, I am announcing that I'm on the side of the war where I am either subscribed or unsubscribed is so weird. It's just
What I don't understand is if they were subscribing because of Starfield and Redfall, why were they subscribed now when those games don't come out to the end of the year?
exactly. I don't know.
That makes too much sense.
Yeah, it's like
because
yeah,
somebody
you're exactly
said
right,
it,
Jasper.
so then it became like, oh, I should do that too, right? And now I don't.
Yeah.
For me, I don't give a shit who subscribes or doesn't subscribe to a service. Like I don't like if you don't want to subscribe to Game Pass, that's for you. Like you know what I mean. If you like to buy your games, that's fine. If you find value in it, then that's great too. But what I have some issue with is people out there making the claim that it has no value, period. Right? And that's where it's like starts to get in those people's heads like, oh, you're right. This has no value whatsoever. I need to unsubscribe. What am I doing? I'm wasting my $14.99 a month. You know, and it's like this weird,
Is that
like,
what they all sound like?
yeah, man. It's like, oh, he said it. I look up to that guy, so I need to do that too, man.
Yeah, man.
That's $15 I could have had in my pocket this past month that I could have went out and got 2 more cheeseburger meals from Jack in the Box.
I just find it's crazy.
Taking
like
food out of my mouth.
like,
that Game Pass. I need to feed my family.
I'm gonna unsubscribe and then immediately buy the games that I unsubscribed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go spend $210 instead of $14.99. That's gonna give me more value. So now again, do whatever you want. The weird thing is putting it out there so much to try and create. It's like almost like an attempt in a way to like create this negative like bubble around something right now, right? And I've seen this so many times. You have a lot of different games that come out, and sometimes they don't click for people right away, and they're like, let's gang up on this, right? Everybody must be on this side. If not, you're not cool, or you're against gaming, or you're against this, you're against that. And it's like people all jump on the side because they want to be in the cool crowd. They want to be part of the fun party, And you've got people out there enjoying the game. Like, hey, this game is fine to me.
But they're the less vocal.
I don't see what the problem
is. I feel like this is when like Xbox Game Pass first came out, you could like stack 3 years. I feel like we're at the 3-year mark and it's just running out for people, and people are like, I don't want to buy it again.
Yeah, they're getting sick now. They're having to pay that. They're having to pay that bill finally. So I've been paying that bill for over a year at least now, and for me personally, I find a lot of value in it. It saves me a lot of money, right? And I'm able to turn around and use that money on other games. But let's talk about the value of Game Pass. So
What
let's
Lord
just,
Ruffness just said.
I'm going to unsubscribe tonight and then purchase Sniper Elite 5 tomorrow. That's a wise decision, Lord Ruffness. You could not be smarter. I think that's very valid, and I think that you should do that because it's a wise use of your money.
No. Make sure you purchase Sniper Elite before you unsubscribe, so you get that discount.
That's too much.
Oh, yes, it's true.
So let's take a look here at what Game Pass actually has to offer, right? And I'm gonna compare this to other services as well because a lot of the people that I saw that said they're unsubscribing to Game Pass were also applauding PlayStation Plus new premium service, and so we're gonna dive into a comparison of the value proposition that Game Pass Ultimate offers for $14.99 a month, and then what PlayStation Plus Premium offers at $17.99 a month, and we'll see kind of like the judgment of value there, and what holds more value. So all right, so let's add this in here. So this is the website Xbox.com Game Pass games. This is the filter here, so you can see all the games, right? So there's 464. Some of them are duplicates because the Xbox One and Series X are counted in here. So we'll say maybe 420, 430 roughly ballpark. I would say maybe in console games and Game Pass. New games hit day one like Loot River, Citizen Sleeper, Little Witch in the Woods is in game preview right now. We got NBA 2K22, Floppy Nights. We're going to discuss that game a little bit later. Just hit. Uden Chronicles Rising is a day one game. Just hit. Jurassic World Evolution 2 is a brand new game. This War of Mine is a remaster, I think, of a game that's coming day one. You got, and these are like in order of like newest.
Newest, yeah. You can sort by alphabetical. If you want.
Trek to Yomi hit day one. I saw a lot of people discussing Trek to Yomi. With Game Pass Ultimate, also people that don't know, you get EA Play as part of that. NHL 22 recently hit on there. You got Danganronpa. You got 7 Days to Die. Plague Tale is on there.
You're in alphabetical now. Yeah.
I'm in alphabetical now.
It just switched over from newest to
right. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of scroll through here, and
but is Starfield and Redfall here?
Nope, there's no Starfield or Redfall here right now. Also, this does not include games coming soon. But what you do see is games across multiple generations, from Xbox to Xbox 360 to Xbox One to Series X and S. You got indie games, you got AA games, and you got AAA games. You got third-party games. You got some third-party games day one. You got a lot of indie games day one. Carry On is still in Game Pass. That actually hit last year in Game Pass day one. Was highly touted, actually. That game, I think, got like 9s for most people. Just kind of scrolling through, man. I mean, the Crisis series is in there for EA. I'm wondering if the remastered, if they're going to put the Crisis trilogy in EA Play.
That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe.
I hope so.
That came out last year, didn't it? Or
yeah,
the first remaster at least did, I think.
Yeah, I think the chat. If you remember when the trilogy came out, because the trilogy looks pretty sick. Because they went back and fixed the issues they had with the first one, and then also added a lot more to 2 and 3. If y'all remember when that came out, let me know. Darkest Dungeon's on there. Dead Cells.
October 15th.
Yeah, Deep so we still got a bit to wait on that.
Oh, here's Destroy All Humans. You got all these dirts. You got the Dishonored franchise. I mean, this list is going on. Now, I have this filtered by page of 200 results. It's crazy. So you see a lot of older games. You see some newer games mixed in. Forza Horizon 5 came out last year. What I think a lot of people are frustrated with is the lack of third party, like first party AAA games releasing, right? From Xbox in general, and they're equating that to the value of Game Pass, right? Whereas, like, if it doesn't have that, then it holds no value. And I think that's why Xbox replied to Kotaku, and Kotaku wrote an article. It was like, but hey, people are getting burned out on Game Pass or whatever. And Xbox was like, tell me you only care about AAA games without telling
Without
me
telling me.
without telling me you only care about AAA games. And Xbox got some flack for that a little bit as well, but a lot of people also liked them kind of coming out. But here's the thing: is like Game Pass for me has never been just about the first party AAA games. Because if that's all you cared about, then you would only subscribe like for like a couple months a year.
Especially back when Game Pass was first came out, you were getting maybe 2 games a year. Like,
Oh yeah,
if you, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
you have like 2 games to play a year, or at least on the certain other subscriptions. So I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird that people start to attack the service. I still think it's an amazing value proposition with the games in there, and the games that are also coming out later this year. That'll possibly be in Game Pass. It's really, again, it's up to the individual person to see what they perceive as value. Like, I perceive Game Pass to be very valuable, especially because I still buy, believe it or not, I still buy a lot of these games, and a lot of these games that go into Game Pass end up having major discounts. So if you did want to buy your games instead of renting, I'm doing quotation marks, instead of renting these games, then you have even better value to do so. So on top of all the games that is provided in Game Pass, you also have that on top of it, and then you have xCloud on top of that, and then all these other features. So I don't know. I still think it's an amazing value. I think what we were saying earlier, people just get in that. Like, you have a PlayStation game on there, MLB The Show. I think it's all about, like, people will move on to the next big thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
give it a week. Someone will talk about
give
something
it yeah, it'll be something else. Like, Xbox will announce something and people are like, "Ooh, I actually really love Game Pass." Whoa.
Last week was the Civil War. The week before that was DRM. It's just this week's it's unsubscribe,
Yeah. It's a social
No,
media.
I have a feeling next week will be something about either controllers or PlayStation 5 skins or something. Just some random stuff.
I mean, scrolling through this list still is pretty damn crazy to me. You know what I mean? The reason I'm doing this is just to put it into perspective. Like, I think we all kind of get used to like just paying that and we're like, oh, pick what we want. But like when you actually see it visibly, it's kind of like mind blowing. And there's so many things that what Game Pass has done for me is there's so much stuff to always play that like I'm not like ever without something. I remember back in the day, like, oh, I have to sit there and wait for that next AAA game because I got this amount of money to spend. You know what I mean? And then I gotta wait, and I gotta wait for that. So in the meantime, I kind of like playing my old stuff regardless. And what Game Pass has done is it's kind of allowed me to play a lot of things I never would have tried because I wouldn't have wanted to spend the money on it because I'm saving it for that other thing, you know? And because of that, I've experienced a lot of other franchises, a lot of other games, a lot of other kinds of games that I learned that I love, right?
And with that money you save, you buy games that you may not have bought before because you're like, oh, I got extra money. Might as well just play that game.
Especially because all the big first-party games that we know are all in the pipeline. You got 50-something projects in the works right now that are coming to Game Pass day one that are like big AAA games. And a lot of those are from first parties, going to be some like from third party, and all of those are going to be hitting too. So I'm not going to have to use that money that I normally would have spent on those games, so I could turn around and use it on other things. And that's why Xbox had come out and posted a number about Game Pass subscribers end up actually spending more money than other users, right? Because they're like the heavy user, right? They're like the ones that like really invest in the ecosystem. But it's just insane that to me when people come out and say that has no value, right? Now, if it's no value to you because you only are looking for a specific game, I get it, right? I completely understand. You're like whatever, but you don't need to go out there and like put on social media, I'm unsubscribing from this service because of the value. That makes no sense, and this thing is like spreads. It's like really annoying.
It's kind of crazy that I mean, a lot of the people who are vocal about it are primarily PlayStation channels, to be honest. But I do see, um, like, people do follow trends and be like, oh, I don't want people to perceive me as just an Xbox guy, so I'll announce that I'm either still subscribed or I'm unsubscribing. Uh, it's whatever you perceive as value for yourself. That's all it is at the end of the day. I personally think it has a lot of value. It has all of the Yakuza games. I'm just looking at your list right now. Love those games. And games I wouldn't have, like you were saying, Mav, like games I would never try in a million years. It's very easy to even try it with xCloud. Like if I wanted to, it's like another easy layer on top of things. Like if I wanted to just try it and it has the cloud, you can just literally press play. You don't even have to download it. So, on top of you not playing these games outside of like just purchasing them, you can also you have that other layer on top of that, if that makes sense. But yeah.
So that's,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely
that's
saves
all the
hard
games
drive
that are.
space.
Oh, I didn't even go into the PC side. I should have done that before I closed that. But
Mhm.
there's about 400 games on PC Game Pass, Ultimate also, because EA Play also comes with that. So, um, that also you talk about value. So that's just the console games, right? So then there's PC games that are part of it, large list, and there's also the EA Play subscription, and there's also the mobile aspect as well, right? Giving you more functionality with your games as part of that subscription service, right? And that's another thing that people aren't really talking about when they talk about the value of the service, is it gives you the ability to play these games on the go on multiple devices, right? And is that something that maybe interests some people, it does not interest others, right? But it still holds value, right? Something that I don't think other services are really equipped to deliver that same level, right? So um, it's interesting. Now, do you guys want to take a look and see what's in the PlayStation Plus Premium tier?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's go for it.
17.99.
Also, we got a super chat.
Oh, did we get a super chat? Oh,
Psychonauts. Yeah.
yo, Psycho, what's up, dude? Appreciate you, man. He hit us with a $2 super chat. Since on June 12th, everyone will say Game Pass is amazing. Well, even if we just went and looked at the games that we know were coming to Game Pass later this year, I would say Game Pass is still amazing because we're getting Scorn, we're getting Warhammer Darktide is coming to Game Pass as well. Um, there's other big games. Atomic Heart is supposed to be coming to Game Pass as well. Stalker 2, if it ends up hitting this year, there's a lot of questions on that. Probably not, but if it does, then that's Game Pass day one as well. Um, so there's a lot of other games that are third party that are also hitting the service, right? But yeah, let's look at a competing service. Would y'all say it's trying to compete or no? I mean, what is the point of existence if it's not
They say
some
they're
level
not
of
competing until they, yeah, they're competing. They're definitely
they
competing.
say they're
They're
not
It's like, oh,
competing
what?
because
with
they can't,
Nintendo.
right now.
Yes, they can't. Yeah, but they are. I think that's the whole point of the Spartacus thing, and basically kind of forcing people to,
Yeah.
like you can't purchase the more than you can't stack it anymore. So
Right.
they want you to be inside of this program.
Yeah, so let's look at the PS Plus Premium that was announced. For what we know of, there's still some games that we don't know of that are going to be in the service day one when it launches on June 12th, I believe, or June 13th, something like that.
June 13th.
June
It's
13th.
like the day after the Xbox
Showcase,
Xbox
right?
Bethesda.
Which is why we think that a lot of the Ubisoft announcements came right away. So this is from PlayStation's website. This is again, I'm using only the first party sources here. All right, so where are the games? Okay, let me get to the games. Wait, where's the games? This is not the right. Okay, hold on. Did they change this? Because I just use this. Okay, your guide. Yeah, you got to click on this extra link now. No? Okay, hold on.
If you
Do
want to see
y'all
the
remember
games,
that
you
list
gotta
I went
pay.
over with last week?
Yeah, that was a
That was from
different
PlayStation.
website.
No,
Was
that's
it?
from PlayStation. Yeah. Let me see. I clicked on the same exact link and it took me. Okay.
I think they've added a few more games to the list that they showed last week, but there's going to be a lot of overlap with games from like Game Pass, so you're going to have a lot of the same third-party stuff. Um, their first-party stuff, they have a handful, but most of those games are like at least
Oh.
12 months, 18 months now. I think the most recent game that they have in the service is Returnal, which, if I'm not mistaken, is almost a year old at this point.
Yeah. It's like going to be 14 months old by the release of their service. So,
Yeah.
it was right in front of me. They added a separate link you have to click on somehow. Anyway. Here we go. Here's the games. PlayStation Studios games. So these are the PS4 games. One thing you'll notice is all these games are somewhat old. I mean, there's some that'll be fairly new, like Guardians of the Galaxy is in here from third party. That's one. NBA 2K22 is within a year old, and then also you have.
But that's also in Game Pass, so
it's also in Game Pass. Yeah. You have Red Dead Redemption 2. The full game is on here. This is really cool. It's not new, obviously, but there's really the newest game I think we could find was like besides it was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that came out around
last
holiday
October.
last October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the newest game. But there's weird omissions like Far Cry 5 isn't here, but Far Cry 4 and 3 is. Watch Dogs 2 and Watch Dogs Legion isn't here, but Watch Dogs 1 is. And the classic games catalog that's part of the PS Plus premium tier that you're paying that extra few dollars for $17.99 a month. These are the games that are listed for it right now. You got currently 10 games. You got these 6 from PlayStation PSP, and you got these third-party ones: Mr. Driller, Tekken 2, Worms, World Party, and Worms Armageddon.
I think is World Party. I think that might be actually one of the newest games.
Is it? Is that the new one that came out? That's like a brawler.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm looking up.
Okay, I didn't like that game. I tried it.
Yeah.
It was on PlayStation. I think it was on Game Pass day one.
Yeah,
when that came out.
Actually, no, that is the very first Worms game. I think
World Party is.
Oh, jeez.
No, there's one. The one that came out last.
Well, this isn't a recent Worms game. I can tell you that. So.
It's not. Okay, when did this one come out? Oh, it came out on the original PlayStation. It says
yeah,
right
2001.
Yeah. That's, okay. Right. Okay.
Never
So
mind.
that's cool. I mean, I don't mind it's cool that they're putting some on there, but there's only 6. There are 10. There's only 10.
I thought that was the Brawler
one
one too, so that's why I was like, it might be the news one.
But. So then we got the PlayStation Studios games here. There's some cool games on here. I like Rogue Galaxy a lot. I talked about that before. Wild Arms 3. Cool. These are kind of like PS2 remasters. Which I've heard from some that's like not really remastered. It's kind of just like resolution is better.
Yeah.
Then the third party
BioShock remaster. It's nice, I guess.
Yeah. Here's the PS3, which are streaming only. PS3 games. You got games like Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time, Into the Nexus, Quest for Booty. We had some fun on that one last week because
they only have the third Resistance on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes. But remember, we speculated
Some
that they're
people are
holding
speculating
back
that it might
stuff.
be because they're doing a remake in the background or something like that.
I think they're holding
It's
back
so
stuff
in
to have
Insomniac.
more releases on the service.
Yeah.
Look, Ruffness, I'm trying to show you what it has to offer. See if it has any value to you for $17.99 a month. Okay. All right. Fear.
Wait, does
Okay.
it have MLB The Show on there?
No, it does
If it
not.
doesn't, that would be hilarious. Oh my
No,
god,
it's not. It does not.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
So, yeah, so go back to the first party. MLB The Show is MIA.
Wow,
Yeah.
huh? That's
Hmm.
interesting.
You can pay $70 to
Weird.
get it on that platform, though.
You
Yeah.
can.
Oh yeah. Value.
That's an option.
So also, all right. So let's get into the. What's up, Psycho? How's it going, man?
Good. Just got off work, so figured hop on and miss the Game Pass talk and talk a little bit about this PlayStation.
Yeah, we're talking to see if if PlayStation Plus Premium has value to us or not.
It has value to me just because I skipped the PlayStation 4 generation.
Right. So you
Yeah,
want to go
if you
back and play a lot of those, right?
Yeah.
See, like I skipped the PS3 generation except for God of War. That's the only game that I played. So, PS3 games are what I would like to play, but it sucks because it's stream only, no native download. So that's the only thing that's a bummer with PS3 games.
Yeah.
PS4, I have one, but I didn't want to spend $60 on a lot of their games, so I only bought what I thought was a good game to buy.
So here's the 2-hour trials. We got 6 of those coming right away on launch day. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk. So I guess they added it back to their storefront at some point.
Yeah, I think they did, or late last year or something.
Okay. Farming Simulator, Tiny Tina's, and
When they
WWE.
updated the update before the next gen patch, they
Yeah.
implemented it into their store again.
So Wonderland is the newest game, but it's only 2-hour trial.
Right, yeah, that's the 2-hour trial. These
Yeah.
are not games that are actually on the service. This is just that extra tier premium perk of the 2-hour trials.
Yeah. And Farming Simulator 22 is in Game Pass right now.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but all right. So, all right. Quantifying value. Okay. Now, I've seen a lot. The reason I was bringing that list up, I've seen a lot of people say that they saw value in that, a lot of value in it, and they're going to subscribe to it, and they're excited for it. But then they said that Game Pass had no value, and we just like on the show just scrolled through everything that Game Pass has to offer and everything, and kind of talked about it, and now we scrolled through everything that this service is going to have day one. Now, mind you, also this service is more expensive if you're paying monthly, and you cannot stack as well. So you can't do what a lot of the Xbox gamers did originally and stack your subscriptions up to be able to get in there for a long haul. But yeah,
Sony nipped that in the butt. You're able to in the very beginning, and then they're like, oh, they saw the loophole and they
Closed it. Yep.
So do you now I know Jasper, I honestly said I probably will out of curiosity, check it out. And to the extra tier, I don't know 100% if I'm going to do the premium. But there's some games I want to go back on there and play from like the classic generations just to see how it is. You know what I mean?
And that's only on premium though.
Right. Oh yeah, you're right. Shit. Okay, so I'll do what I'm going to plan on doing is I think I'm going to do like a month of it and see how I like it. And then if it's worthwhile, cool. If it's not, but what I will probably end up doing that service more for is play PlayStation games when they end up coming into the service. Like God of War Ragnarok, I don't really care about playing that day one. I'll probably play that way later, whenever it comes to service. So if I have to wait a year, I have to wait a year. If I have to wait 2 years, I have to wait 2 years. Unless they give it as PS Plus or they give it away, or if it's dirt cheap in the storefront or something like that, right?
I think what they'll probably do is they'll release it on PS5, Then 6 months later, they'll probably release it on PC when sales starts going down a little bit, and then they'll have a, and then they'll put it on sale on the console, and they'll put it on sale on PC, and then they'll throw it into their service. So probably, I don't know, probably 2 years is, you're right with that. It's
Yeah.
usually
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
it
it's tough to
seems.
say. I mean, eventually, they're going to get to the point where Xbox is roughly around there. Maybe not day one, but maybe sooner. Because even EA Play is like a year, and that service is dirt cheap. You can get that service for like $3 something a month. And their games drop within about a year after they come out. So. I don't know, man. Like, value wise, for me, like, I don't see like how you can see that service is like giving value great back to the consumer. And then the thing that with like Game Pass is like people saying, "Oh, I'm going to unsubscribe for that because is nothing there." It seems like it's just disingenuous to me.
That's like what I'm coming from is like, it only has value to me because I never played those. But
Yeah.
there's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
if I had played those, there would be no value because it would be old stuff.
Yeah.
If you're new to the PlayStation service, to the ecosystem,
For
their
sure.
Spartacus is great value because you get to play a lot of the games that you missed out that made PlayStation, the PS4, PS3, and PS2 very, whatever. So it's I don't know. It's funny how people are sitting out there saying that service is so much better than Game Pass, but yet here's day and date games.
It would be
And
kind of like if a
get
streaming
new.
service like came out, like Boomerang came out, was like, hey, you can go watch all these old cartoons. Like,
Right.
no.
Yeah. And there's like no new ones, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the
Wait,
the 90s,
wait a minute though.
2000s.
Didn't that camp say support the devs though? I mean,
Yeah.
what happened to supporting the devs?
Yeah,
I thought we buy games over there. Yeah.
well, maybe that's why
This-
there's a mass exodus of Game Pass right now, or perceived. And here's the other aspect of this is like people are like rewriting articles about this like as some big thing, thinking they're actually like there's this huge mass exodus from Game Pass right now, which is like a few like maybe at most a few hundred random people on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
Yeah.
oh there's an abandonment from Xbox right now, which is like the perception that can kind of cause when it's like a few loud people on the internet starting this like circle jerk of like unsubscription tweets, right? Hey, you're doing it. Hey, I'm gonna do it too. Let's go. So that's kind of what's going on. It seems like but that's not like in the reality of what's going on in the real world for the people that don't actually pay attention to any of that shit, right? Like people just go and they're gonna subscribe to something whether they see value in it or not, and I don't see any loss of value in Xbox Game Pass over what it's already had, and I only see increasing value still. So therefore, I don't understand where all of this came from. It just kind of seems weird and out of place and for attention.
So the 80
Maybe-
million casuals are they really don't care about this.
Maybe if PlayStation might have value if you're still one of those people that actually trades in your game at GameStop all the time. So like maybe you played Horizon, but you never finished it. So like you could get this service since you traded in the game, you can go back and finish it. But I'm just like, I'm looking for something here,
Yeah, you're grasping.
Maybe call
You're
it the
grasping.
finish subscription.
Yeah.
Finish your games.
Or you could just skip that Horizon and buy the bundled PS5 with Forbidden West.
I mean, it's all old games, so I just don't get where new games is bad. Old games service is
It's
so much
because
better.
it's a mind trick. It's like Jedi mind trick. I think freaking Luke
Yeah, they're not
Skywalker's
Jedis,
like
though.
a CEO over there at PlayStation or something, and he's just fucking with people, and he's like, "This is good. This is bad."
You
See?
think you're some kind of Jedi or something?
Unsubscribe to Game Pass.
These are not the
No
games you're looking
value.
for.
Your
He-
Jedi mind tricks don't
6
work on me.
PS1 games value. 6 PS1 games value.
So how many PS1, PS2, PS3 games, or let's just say PS1, PS2 games are on there? How many?
There's
It's like
maybe
10.
like 30.
You
No,
guys
PS1,
like
PS2 games?
trials.
What?
Uh,
That's it?
no, there's not very many. There's a few that
There
were
maybe
like
like 20.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like
Psycho. You guys love trials. Ooh.
Yeah.
you want 2-hour game trials? Pay $17.99.
Hey.
This is cool. Like I don't. Anybody wants to subscribe to that service? Like I said, I don't care. You don't have to announce it. Like we'll see the numbers reported back. Right now, currently, their version of Game Pass has about 3 million subscribers on it, and
they'll
Xbox has
probably
about
include
30
all of
million.
Well, they'll probably include the PS Essentials, which were basically your PS Plus members. So there was about 45 million of those.
But they can't
which-
do that and get away with it, right? Like if
Oh, yeah,
Xbox
this-
was just like,
This,
oh,
this is Sony.
Xbox Live
this is-
Gold accounts, you know what I mean? They would be like,
This
how many?
This is
would that
Sony.
be?
They, They're going to get away with it
Probably
because
like
they'll
50 million.
they'll get a pass when they say, "Oh, day one we have 45 million subscribers."
isn't
Wait,
that, like,
was your
isn't
PS
that-
Plus converts?
Isn't that number used to like negotiate these deals with the publishers and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Do you think these
I'm sure
publishers
it
are
comes up.
actually stupid enough to believe that?
Well, it's one of those things where that PS Plus number has kind of gotten them some deals before. The PS Now was always kind of just looming around 2 or 3 million. So
Yeah.
now you're probably looking at just having that 45 million or whatever from PS Plus be the base number, and then Sony will work to try to convince people, more than 3 million people, to upgrade to the mid or top tier.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
I
not
hope
all in on it,
the-
right?
I hope the companies negotiating the deals with Sony are aware of what the service is before they just be like, "Oh, you only have 40 million."
Oh, you got 45 million? Wow, holy shit! Xbox, I was just talking to them on the phone, and they only got 30. I mean, we're gonna put our games on your service. Wow, you know, like I don't know if there's any naive like actual suits that would act. I mean, maybe there
like
is.
indie companies that were like one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
dev game,
remember
you know?
in the earnings call, like the 2K guys think that they still owned like Outer Worlds. You remember that? Like, so these guys don't know what the hell's going on in their own companies. So maybe it's like a whole ploy where like they're like, we can fudge these numbers and get these better deals to these people. No, I don't think they're actually that dumb.
They don't even have Legend of Dragoon in their classic or Breath of Fire 4. You know, the large staple PS1 games.
Oh, there's
What
like
the
a
hell?
lot, dude. They only got like 6 of the actual PS1.
They got the one that I wanted though, so I'm happy.
They got Wild Arms 3.
Yeah.
They got
About what Jasper wants, Psycho, not what you.
What about what Jim Ryan wants? Didn't he say who plays old games?
I was also going to bring up this
Yeah.
Nintendo comparison, but then I'm just looking at it and be like, this is like a joke. So I can't even like bring it up right now. I was going to, but it's like, that's like the worst of the worst out there possibly for like subscription services as far as value to the consumer.
I
It makes
think there's more
PlayStation
Sega
look
games
good.
on
It
it
makes
than
PlayStation Premium
Nintendo.
Plus look really good, actually.
How do they don't even have Paw Paw Rapper from the PS1. That was like
Yeah.
the huge biggest game on the PS1. How is it not on this list? What is going on?
Well, I don't know how many. I mean, that's a third-party game, isn't it? Is that a Sony
Yeah.
game? I mean, a lot of the
Yeah,
games
but
are third parties.
So a lot are third party. So how is it
You
they
know-
can get some and not? I mean,
Well, one thing I know they can't get now is Crash. Like Crash was the mascot of PlayStation 1, and they can't get it
Yeah.
now because that's owned by Activision and soon to be owned by Xbox.
Yeah, I remember being really
So-
excited for that game because PlayStation was going to get their mascot. and
well,
I
they
was
don't
like,
even
But
have
why-
Susie, So
My whole thing, like all those
Or
games
Spyro.
aside, I'm just really shooketh that MLB The Show is not in there. Like
but
that
because
was
MLB
Sony's game.
is the actual publisher now, I believe, of the game.
they have.
I know,
to-
but that's in Game Pass. So I was just like, that's been Sony's game.
You'll
for
get
so
MLB
long.
12.
they have to get.
MLB
you know,
12.
you gotta get the
That's
numbers
probably
up.
about
Kind of like
But that's just so weird to
Horizon
me.
Forbidden
Just
West.
just because of how that game, has been it's still published by Sony, right? As
Yeah.
far as I know, like when you started
I
up
don't think it is on the
Xbox,
Xbox, and I think MLB has a contract for Game Pass.
but
with
I'm
Xbox.
I
No,
thought like when you
it does
start
pop up.
MLB the Show, like it shows the PlayStation logo
because it's
which was
PlayStation
always weird.
Studios still that makes
Yeah.
it. But the publisher, I believe, is MLB.
Xbox has
okay.
the MLB publisher. Sony is its.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That's how it was explained to me before, because I was really curious how the hell they pulled that off. And it was like Xbox went directly around to MLB, and when they announced that there was going to be multi-platform stuff, that means MLB was publishing it for other consoles, because I don't think PlayStation was going to be publishing it for other consoles. So with the publishing agreement between MLB and Xbox is like, hey, you want all this shit tons of money? And MLB is like, yeah, give us a shit tons of money. And they said, okay, we're going to bring it on the Game Pass. And then Sony's like, shit, we can't do that because we don't do that with any of our games. Maybe PlayStation could themselves, but they're not doing it, right? And there's a reason why. It's because PlayStation Premium Plus has about 1/10 of the value, if even that, of what Game Pass has. And they're not really trying to compete one for one. They're just trying to eventually grow and see how many suckers they can get in there, for the long haul before they actually start
But
putting
it's
value.
Sony's studio, though, right? Like San
I
Diego.
feel like they're just trying to.
No, I
archive
think
their
they
games.
could. 3-bit, they could, but they don't have any of their first-party games in their day one or like recently.
This seems more like an archive of their
Yeah.
games that they're kind of like just kind of keep digitally. It's like a digital archive of games. That's like
Yeah. It's almost like the EA Play of Sony, basically.
well, with EA Play, you still get 10-hour trials of new games.
Yeah, you get
10
10-hour
hours,
trials
2
on EA
hours, it's all the
games.
same.
You get 10-hour trials on new games in EA Play, and you also get those games within about a year of release. And that's for like the service that costs like, what, $30 a year?
Yeah.
Something like that. $30 a year, which is like less than $3 a month. Right? I don't know the 100% the dollar amount, but I don't know that's about what I used to pay for it. Because I subscribe to that service immediately right away, because you also get a 10% discount when you buy EA games.
Yep.
Exactly.
So between all of the things you got for that, I was like saving money. It was like one of those subscription services that just made sense for me, right? Because I
It
played.
almost pays for itself.
Yeah, it paid for itself 100%. Game Pass does the same thing for me. Game Pass pays for itself. Not only that, but also if you take advantage of the Microsoft rewards and the Game Pass Quest, that gives you actual dollars to use, and you can just use that and sync it back into Game Pass, right?
Yeah, I got $65 saved up for when my Game Pass runs out to buy a Game Pass subscription.
Every month I get at least 15 to 20 bucks, and I don't use it on Game Pass. I just feel like, okay, this is like money I'm going to go either way. I either use it on buying a movie, or I buy a game, or I rent a movie, or rent it, or I'll do something. I usually buy a game or buy a DLC thing or something. You know what I mean? And it's like every month. Yeah, right now I probably got like 1,800 points saved up, which is around 15 bucks. So 15.
Now,
bucks.
what would be what I would like to see or wait to see is when games are announced that come to Game Pass, will they be announced going to this service as well?
If it's anything like other subscription services, probably the big drawback is going to be contract negotiations.
Yeah.
So it might be, hey, you can only be in our subscription service. You can't be in any others. So that's
I don't know if Xbox will do that though.
I don't think Xbox will do that, but
Sony
good and well,
will.
Sony will do that.
I bet Xbox has that kind of stuff in their language as well, right? I mean, if I was Xbox.
If they don't yet, they're going to start once PlayStation's thing.
Yeah, I would bet money that they have some kind of stipulation in there that if you're in our subservice right now, you can't be in others. This is the way it's worked for movies and TV as well. Like you don't see things in like Netflix and like Hulu at the same time or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like once those deals expire, then they can rotate and they make new deals. And it's gonna be the same for games, I think. So
like
for third party
stuff. Older stuff, sometimes you'll see stuff in both services. Nothing, the new stuff, no, they're separated. So that's what I would like to see when it comes down. Is because a lot of these games that are in this list, I know I don't want to be harping on it. I mean, they got the first division, but not Division 2. So it's like
That's because I think Ubisoft is trying to do a classic category, and then with Ubisoft Plus, they're going to do the new stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting for what Microsoft and Ubisoft comes up with. If it's classic, or they go a tier up of that, or they go to full Ubisoft Plus and just eat that money.
Yeah, we'll find out. I think we'll find out from Ubisoft. I think on June 12th, or the day after. If Xbox has like a day after show,
or a day before show,
or a day before show. Like last year, remember they had their E3 showcase, and they had the show the day after that was hosted by Paris Lily, and they talked about a lot of like the DLC stuff. We found out like the Wasteland 3 expansion. We had like the Flight Simulator talk on that. There's a lot of other stuff. I think we could potentially see something like that again. That way they don't have to fill their show up with like expansion packs and stuff like
and
that.
Talking and stuff.
And yeah, exactly. Those sit down things. I really enjoyed that show last year. I know some didn't because they were expecting more, but like for me, it was like good that wasn't part of the regular show.
Yeah.
It was like an extra thing that we got. I think we could potentially see Ubisoft either with like some kind of announcement then, or like separate thing at the Ubisoft showcase if they do one themselves, which I think they decided they're not. So which means they're probably either at Keely's show, they're at Xbox's show, or they're going to release some kind of other video or something talking about this. And because of the release of Ubisoft Classics on PlayStation Plus at that time, the previous announcement of both consoles that there's going to be Ubisoft Plus on both platforms, and also that the Ubisoft Classics thing is going to be part of both things. Like, I think that this is just due for an announcement anytime soon that really kind of talks about the pricing and what's going on with that service. They're holding it back for a reason, and I don't know what that is, but yeah, like you're right, Psycho. It is kind of ridiculous if you look at the games on there as far as the older games. It gets even weirder if you go and look at Nintendo's, but overall, it's like it is what it is.
Nintendo just throws a dart at a board and is like, "Oh, that's the game we're adding this month." It's like,
what Nintendo will do is like sell you that game for $50, or $60, and release it for 3 months, and then pull it back, and it'll be like a shoddy remaster.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, man. It's just I saw that list today when it came out. I saw because that the list that I saw was the Asian market, because it was the games were listed in their store, I believe it was what it was, and that there's a lot more games on that Asian list than the actual official.
Yeah, because they're hiding some stuff before they launch. So
yeah.
Get people in.
So there's some other stuff, but even the other stuff that they have listed in there is like, it's okay. It's not like, holy crap, I need to go out and sub to the service.
I mean, now, if you're expecting day one stuff, you're not getting that.
No, you never get day one. It's Sony. You're not gonna. But like, I have God of War. I have Ghost of Tsushima. I have the Horizon not Forbidden
West. Is the Ghost of Tsushima one the new one?
It's a director's cut version. Yeah.
So that's the best.
It has
one.
the island as well.
Yeah. I don't have that.
Well, what else do they add? Like, if they're not going to add new stuff, what else do they add?
Just older stuff.
There is the potential of new stuff that's third party. Yeah. Like, at least from PS, looking at PS Now, they had that what was it, like Shadow Samurai or something like that, or Shadow Warrior 3.
Yeah, they had dropped that day and date. Day one. Yeah.
So they'll get some third party stuff, probably day and date, just like the way Game Pass does, but they're not going to do their first party for at least for the near future, not for at least, I would say, a year or so. But you might see some of those games as a service, quote unquote, in their day and date, just for the the player base type of thing. So I'm curious to see if something like Factions, if they do that as like a standalone, or if that's mixed in with the Last of Us remaster or reboot.
Didn't someone just come out and say that that's not happening?
What, Factions or the remaster?
The multiplayer mode for Last of Us. I think someone came out, like it was Jez or someone came out and said that's not happening anymore.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
would be a sad day if that's the case.
can't remember who it
They've been
was,
saying for 2 years that they're like, oh, we'll
Lots
let
of
you know
people have been
more in the
waiting for that.
future, or it's still being worked on. We'll let you know when it's ready to release. And now, if they canceled that, that's oof. That would be almost like them canceling the battle royale for Halo. That I can imagine the PlayStation
People have been waiting for
fans
that.
just being up in arms on that.
Yeah, they've been.
I could have
waiting.
swore I saw that like last week, but I don't know. Maybe
What
I'm
was
hoping.
it?
Maybe I read something.
Hopefully not for PlayStation's sake.
I hope
but
you're
yeah.
wrong,
Last
Jasper.
of Us 2.
Oh yeah,
Like,
the
the
multiplayer mode.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any news on that yet. What I'm thinking is they may like, whenever they do the Last of Us remastered game, you know,
But that's the first one. That's not the second one.
right? But
Yeah.
maybe they'll just release the multiplayer with that instead. You know?
Why? Why would they put this?
Yeah, they'll do some sort of
Because that's
direct
originally what it came
bundle.
out on, was the first one. So they're just gonna remaster that.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be for the second one, so it'll be different characters, different. You can't put. I don't think they're gonna put the sequel or the second Last of Us 2 multiplayer out for the first remaster. That'd be kind of almost a little backwards. Now, if
Well,
they did a remaster,
What I'm
of
saying
Last
is
of
like
Us
they
2,
haven't even acknowledged it in for forever. So when they do release it, maybe it's completely different than they originally announced. You know what I mean? And it's like Last of Us 2 multiplayer coming out for me is like the game's been out almost how long now?
That's
2
like
years?
Tomb Raider having the multiplayer. It's like cool. Same thing with Uncharted 4. It's like cool. There's a mode, but
And I know a lot of people liked
That's
it
it.
on the first Last of Us. So I don't know why it's not there. You know.
wow.
But there's not a lot of
You don't have
outrage
any
over it either.
multiplayer.
I don't see people
When you
like
don't have many multiplayer games. I mean, can't really have too much on outrage. So you just patiently waiting for whenever they drop something.
yeah. Maybe if somebody knows if they've mentioned it somewhere or not. I'm just curious like if they're waiting for something.
The last they mentioned factions was, I think, at the 2-year anniversary, but it wasn't that they are giving more details other than that it was being worked on, and we'll let you know more when we're closer to launch or something to that effect. It's like it's ready when it's ready, kind of,
Yeah.
statement.
about, like,
But that
a
was at
lack
the
of-
2-year anniversary.
Like a lack of communication there. That's crazy. That's something I was like looking forward to with Last of Us 2. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be like cool to play, like multiplayer. Because the first one was pretty fun. I don't know if you guys played the first Last of Us multiplayer, but it was like
That's
pretty
right.
unique and kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have just been, fun or something Sony can do that's multiplayer based. Just a little nugget. But
Yeah.
They did release the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer, right?
The co-op?
yes,
Okay.
and apparently it was pretty good. I haven't played it.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good, but I can't find enough people to do some of the raids now. It's
That's what I'm.
Let's go, Fuzzy. Let's do it.
it.
That's like the thing. Like that came out and like no one talks about it. That's the weird thing when it comes to multiplayer stuff on the PlayStation side. You don't hear any. Hey, we're gonna. Is anyone still playing? Whatever. You don't see anything like that. I don't hear them like I just played the multiplayer. It's so freaking great. Like the week that it came out, you heard the noise like hooray, and then it just died away. It's just like. Why? If you want more multiplayer stuff, you gotta keep playing it.
Oh, here's what I saw that I was thinking of. It said Jeff Grubb says Last of Us factions will likely never come out as it was originally envisioned. So
Right.
it's still
That's
gonna come
kind
out,
of
but
what I'm
it's not-
saying. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, I think it might
So
hit with
it's-
like the Last of Us remaster, which has been rumored.
It's gonna
That
be
could
a battle
potentially be
royale now.
announced, right? And it could be like a
So has it-
standalone thing, like a downloadable standalone thing, like and just kind of coincide with that release.
Yeah.
It would be one of their like live service releases. Maybe it's like a free to play situation, or like you buy into it, and they had like 10 live service games they're trying to do, and maybe they look at what their IPs were, and that's the one they've had some success with multiplayer on, and they're like, okay, let's go with one of that with that because we know a little bit at least what we're doing, and maybe that's why it hasn't hit because they went to Naughty Dog or Sony wait, no, it's Naughty Dog, right? Yeah, Naughty Dog, and was like, hey, can you guys make this more of like some ongoing thing instead of like a, kind of tighter experience? Who knows, man? I think that we'll see it, and it's just going to be not what they originally had mentioned, right? Not really part of the game. It'd be like if we got the Halo Infinite campaign, and then 2 years later the multiplayer never came out, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is the multiplayer?" And then they later released it. Oh, it's free to play. Here it is, right?
Halo would be canceled by then.
For sure, right? But I mean, same situation. Nobody talks about it, but that's the same situation that we're in. I don't know. Like for Halo, they released the most important components.
Yeah, but
to the
Last of
franchise.
Us isn't necessarily known for a multiplayer game, so that's kind of why it's
right.
all right.
No, I get you, but like Halo released the most.
It's not known for it, but the first Last of Us did have multiplayer, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's fair to assume that the next game, when people are like, "Where's the multiplayer?" Yeah, would have it. I guess like if you had a game.
Well, that's the Battlefield argument everyone had. Like, there's no single player campaign. It's like that's the same argument. Like,
yeah,
I'm all right with it.
I think Battlefield should have went free to play.
Well, I was just talking about Battlefield single player.
Should have had a fucking campaign
Yeah.
to swallow that $70 pill.
If they added a campaign to what they were already trying to do and they failed on, could you imagine how worse it would have been?
Well, if the campaign was good and the multiplayer sucked, at least I got the campaign was decent.
Yeah.
So it was like I can justify $70. You got a trash $70 game. It was multiplayer only, and they can't get nobody to play.
Because we're used to getting great Battlefield campaigns, right? I mean, that's just what I'm saying is like Battlefield was always known for the multiplayer, and the campaign was just like a component of it. And the people that bought Battlefield were primarily buying it for the multiplayer. I don't think a campaign would have saved it. In fact, I think adding a campaign to what they were trying to do and they failed on would have made it even take longer to develop, or it would have been worse in the multiplayer than it already was.
Unless they did have it and they just couldn't get it going.
It's like I think me and Matt talked about this a lot when it first came out, and it's so weird because devs, if you give them, especially like a EA, right, where they're known for like really trying to, instead of just develop a game for the passion of it, like you see what happened like BioWare, for example, and how that studio sort of turned out over time with Anthem. When you start to have a company like EA where you start to lose its identity and it's more so about how can I get as much sales as possible, that's when you start to lose like aspects where like you're just trying to really release this game, and then the live service thing. I don't mind live service games, but in the history of a lot of live service games, it tends to not work in the gamers point of view. Like it doesn't usually work out when you're first releasing a game. Because when you're first releasing a game, they're like, okay, well, we have the excuse that we're going to release this content down the line. So instead of finishing the content on day one, they give you like a half broken mess of a game usually. And then like, oh, but don't worry, we'll fix it later. That's usually how it ends up. Like, that's my biggest problem with live service games, is when they first release it, instead of just giving you a really good product and it has a decent amount of content, like how they've been traditionally doing it for all these years, is they give you like half of a game and then they promise maybe, hopefully somewhere down the line, we will fix this and make it better and add features and stuff. But you have to really rely on this roadmap nowadays, rather than have like, okay, we have a decent amount of content. You can actually have a scoreboard, like in Battlefield, you have a scoreboard and like voice chat. Like, why are we pining for
I think
features?
that's just because live service games have kind of took on the marketing role of what a beta used to be. So like you just like they
Like
they can get money off of a live service game. They can't get money off of beta, but
right, it just sucks, you know.
Well, also like live service games hold a certain benefit with the longevity of a franchise.
I agree.
Right?
I think live service has like a lot of pros as well. Like in like the longevity of a game. Like I think it can especially with multiplayer games. I think it's almost necessary to have a long life for a game, something like Halo Infinite. But at the same time, you have to do it. There's a certain way to do it, and I don't think a lot of these developers they're basically giving you, like what Jasper said, like the beta of a game.
The truth is, though, no live service game that I can think of has launched perfectly out of the gates with a ton of content. Like, there's been ones that have gotten by because it's so damn fun, nobody really cares. Decado in the chat said Fortnite was so bad at early access. I bought Fortnite right away.
Yeah, I did
Fortnite, PUBG.
It didn't even have Battle Royale.
It's horrible.
I got
had,
Fortnite because it was a zombie mode.
Right.
That's why I got Fortnite, because
it was Save the World. That's all we had. And then later I was like, well, people are really into Fortnite now? What the hell's going on? And I went and checked out, and like they had Battle Royale. But like even back then it was the one map, and then you had like your characters and stuff, right? So but the Battle Royale genre kind of fixed a lot of that issue because you didn't need as much content, because every game you played was so different that it didn't matter. The competitiveness was there. The map, every game felt different, so they had like one big thing, and then the content just became like this season pass.
What about established games that has a history of, like a Battlefield, for example?
But they don't have a history with free to play, right? But they don't have none of these games have a history with free to play. So it's transitioning into a different model that they've never done before. A Destiny, a lot of people are like, Destiny's the golden standard of content and all these things. Destiny 1, when it hit, was like one of the first ones like that. People were like outraged, like, where's the content? Like, where is all this stuff? People were abandoned it like crazy. And then they came back.
And don't forget, that was a Destiny 10-year game too. Don't forget.
Yeah, that was a 10-year. We repeat the same cycle over and over again. Sea of Thieves.
Destiny 2.
Sea of Thieves is another one. You can name every.
Call of Duty Warzone is the only one, but that's still iffy because they had the entire back end of Modern Warfare to use content from.
That's true. They have all of Activision working on one damn game, pretty much, right? So like, like
5,000 employees.
What I'm getting at is like, the model works, but it always has growing pains, right? Every single one of these games, except for when the game is so damn good and people just don't care because it's what they're used to. And the Battle Royale genre with the one big ass map system has tricked people into not caring so much about extra content. Apex Legends was a huge success. Had nobody talking about it beforehand. They surprise launched it, right? You had like 6 characters and you had one map, one mode, right? It was that way for like 6 months. Nobody gave a shit. It took me three weeks to max out to level 100 on that before anything else. But guess what? It was free, so I didn't complain. I didn't care. It was free. I was enjoying my time. But people have such an expectation with these other franchises that are transitioning into this. It's like, where did that experience go? Because that's what I wanted, and that's what I expect from every time these games come out now. And the reality is, unfortunately, for these games, these multiplayer games, really to be successful like they really want to, a lot of them got to switch to this free-to-play live service model, because this day and age of spending 5-6 years into making a game that's only going to have a player base that sticks around for a year is done. They got to make a game that's going to keep the player base engaged and growing for like 5-10 years. And there's only one model that really creates that. And that's that free-to-play live service model, because there's no barrier of entry, right? So that's why when I found out Halo Infinite was going to be free-to-play, I was like, hell yeah, because I know that it's going to keep content coming and it's going to keep the community engaged over a long period of time, even if we have these dips, especially early on. Now, they fucked up. Like, they did not come out with as much stuff as they should have, right? Early on, but ultimately it's going to be good for that. And I think Battlefield, $70 to pay for a multiplayer only game, I agree with that. It's multiplayer only in a day and age where you can play Apex Legends, you can play Fortnite, you can play Halo, you can play all these other games that are free and are giving you more and better. That's what killed Battlefield. There's too much competition out there. $70 is too much to ask for.
Yeah, the game was asked.
My thing is, like, you also have to like look at the quality control of it. Like, I think the live service model, like, is for certain companies that they have to really figure it out the best way to do it, because you have a big franchise like Battlefield lose like just basic features like a scoreboard or
Yeah, but that
voice
was
chat,
that
right?
wasn't the live service game. That was a traditional $70 release, right?
But I'm just saying, like, not live
Yeah.
service, but like the modern sort of
Right,
development
modern word games
cycle
are,
of
yeah.
these games, where they could just release games like pretty easily nowadays
Well,
with patches.
Call of
and
Duty
things
has
like that.
had like some of their games have launched without leaderboards, so I was kind of okay with Battlefield being like, whatever. Like it's kind of expected at this point for me.
There was now
Crazy.
Battlefield it definitely had its flaws, right?
Yeah.
But it was also victim to part of this whole like gang up on type mentality as well, right? But that's why I think like if it had been a free to play, you're not asking people to pay right away. You know, you're asking them to pay for only the things they want, and then they have to still hold up to that standard because they still got competition between Apex and Fortnite and Call of Duty and all these other games. And over time, you're going to keep improving the game, right? Keep improving the game, keep coming out with updates and all that stuff. You know.
Also, the point to that scoreboard thing, Overwatch kind of set a precedence with not showing scoreboards at the end because they said that it shows like it creates toxicity and negative because people are like, look, my KD is 2.0 and yours is 0.3. Like it just creates like that kind of trash talking, and they kind of get away from that.
The weird thing was no voice chat.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of design features. It was because they either ran out of time or it wasn't.
They probably had a campaign. And then do like, fuck, we need to scrap it, put out just a multiplayer, and see what we can get done so we can have this game out. And that's
you think they actually were working on a campaign at some point? It's possible.
What's funny is they used the same face from Battlefield 5 and Star Wars Battlefront 2 in this game.
How many years was it from Battlefield 5 to this? That was what?
4
years. 4 years? So 4 years just to work on multiplayer.
Well, this was like a big leap for them, supposedly. Like, there's like a whole big thing. We were all excited about it. You know, the Battlefield, they had 3 different dev teams working on this damn thing also, not just one.
What
crazy.
Did we get? Was it 4 years of them actually developing? No. From what I saw, I'm like, I guarantee
you gotta put into COVID was in the middle of this, too, especially at the early, in the middle of it, right? So, who knows how much of an impact that had on the development of that game?
But if you got 2 years into prior COVID, 2 years into a game development, you should be further. You should have a scoreboard.
I think their vision for this was a lot. They bit off more than they could chew because they wanted to remaster Bad Company in 1942 and put all that into here. But I think they just bit off more than they could chew for a 4-year period.
I just think that either they had campaign, worked on that, and then like, oh shit, we need to start working on multiplayer, and then COVID happened, and they're like, fuck, scrap the campaign, finish this multiplayer so we can get it out.
That could be
just what it feels like, because that game was. I mean, I was in the tech test, and I was just like, fuck.
Yeah, I remember your footage. Like, wow, okay, that's crazy.
No, there's no footage.
But I do remember that when the game launched, it wasn't in that bad of shape, right? Like that stuff with the craziness going on with the demo and the betas, that wasn't happening day one. But the negative was still there. They had a lot of other issues, right? They had a lot of other issues, and the diehards were like, "I'm done." You know, like I paid $70 for this. I'm not accepting it. There's other things I can play. I feel like that's where the community's at now. They're like, they don't have the patience for this anymore, and I think. But that's kind of what EA said when they announced when they had their their town hall meeting thing that they do. They had the similar town hall meeting about Anthem. I remember that, and they have a town hall meeting about this, and they come out and they talk about it, and a lady, I forget her name, that was in charge was like, hey, we've realized that gamers just don't have more expectations than they used to
because Halo's so good,
and then Halo was really good, and it kind of put us in maybe we can't release with as many bugs that we used to and all this kind of things, but for their mark they were about the same as they used to release with, which my argument all along was that was the truth, Like originally, like every Battlefield game I've always played at launch was broken, you know. But this one got abandoned by the community like that because of social media and it spread like wildfire. And you know, it. I'm not saying that it wasn't deserved, you know, but like for me, I play Battlefield right now and have a blast. I was having a blast day one, you know. But it's dead now, and it's not. It's dead because they've also given up on it, right? They've given up on the game.
They're just like the community was just like, what the fuck? I mean, at least Halo had a solid.
It's also
solid
if you try to be
gameplay.
positive about the game, you just get attacked because that's
Yes.
kind of the.
Oh, you're
way
one of
social
those that
media
just
is.
makes excuses and stuff, and it's true. Like if I'm actually playing something and having fun with it, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm playing it and having fun with the game.
If
Like,
you go against the narrative, it's just.
that's the hive mentality thing exactly I'm
Yeah.
talking about, man. It's like people can't form their own opinions. People can't talk their own stuff, like because it becomes like something like it's not cool or you're like against what everybody's trying to accomplish here if you're trying to say the opposite thing. But I will say it time and time again. We had a shit ton of fun playing Battlefield day one. And we've had a shit ton of fun playing it since then. But what killed it for me was when EA gave up on it. When they announced that they're moving on from that and have already started development on a new Battlefield game, and that they have announced all the other stuff that they're doing, and then they're diminishing the mode, taking the 128 player breakthrough down to 64 player. Once they lost the community there, they didn't approach it the right way. They didn't be like, we're going to make this right. We're going to fix it. We're going to do everything we can to earn this community back and show you like how good this game can be because we need to do right by it because we sold it to you. Instead, they're like, sorry, we fucked up. We're going to get it right next time. You know? And that's not right. That's not the right way. So that's what
next time.
that's what hurt it for me, right?
No anthem. No.
They're anthemed this game.
Worse than that. Worse.
Yeah.
At least Anthem, it was a good playing game, just didn't have content.
But they did the same shit with Anthem, right? Because Anthem came out, they lost, got a lot of people upset, and just like every other live service type game, there's the big. Everybody's like, "Where's the content? Where's the content?"
They
So
put out a
EA
roadmap, and they're like, "We're not doing that anymore.
Exactly.
We're done."
EA fucked it up. EA fucked
And you know
it
how
up.
crazy? How crazy if they went back and said, you know what, we're adding content to Anthem, it would fucking explode. Because that's how good the game, the mechanics is.
It was even worse though.
It's solid. The game is solid. It just needed content.
It was even worse for Anthem though, because here's what they did with Anthem. They were like, okay, we have all this stuff planned, but instead of doing this, we're going to take the team and not do what we said we were going to do. Now we're going to have them do an Anthem 2.0 instead. So then they send them off on this mission, remake the game, right? So they go and they are working on all this stuff. They come to them a year later. Hey, we don't have any players, so it's not worth doing anymore. So move on to something else. They abandoned all the fucking content that they originally planned for the game to be.
No, it's even worse than that. Let's go down a rabbit hole of Anthem.
I remember they left their Christmas lights up till April.
Did they pull their devs off of Anthem and put them on fucking Battlefield?
Yeah.
That's BioWare, so probably not.
Well, they pulled some from BioWare to work on that, and then some of them were working on Dragon Age, and then I guess the remainder were working on the next Mass Effect or the Mass Effect trilogy.
Okay, because I thought that they were working on. They brought a lot of people in to trying to get this Anthem 2.0 going, and then said fuck it.
The main teams that I remember Criterion got put on Battlefield.
The E3 trailer that they showed for Anthem was fake. None of the game was actually done. And a lot of developers, when they saw that trailer that was working on Anthem, they were surprised. Like, oh, that's what we're working on. Like, they didn't even know. Like, if you're going to go down this rabbit hole of Anthem, the development of that game was so messed up. It was ridiculous.
Flying was added at the last minute. Like, it was added and then taken out and added and taken out. And I guess the head of EA was like, oh, I like that, when they had the flying mechanic, and they were like, yep, I guess we're putting it back.
Yeah, the flying is awesome in Anthem. There's a lot of cool things, and that's my whole thing. Like, there's a lot of pros to live service games, but there's cons if the developer decides not to, go forward with it, which is, I guess, is a risk for most games, right?
It's not even the developer; it's more just the publisher sees like we're going to be putting this much money into it, and you only have 5 players. Like,
yeah, they're like they don't see that we made that argument right away with Battlefield. I was like, guys, if you like the community itself is going to convince EA to sabotage and abandon this game. And it happened. Like, we were trying to warn people, like, hey, like, give it a shot before you just say you're not going to play it. Because a lot of people were just, like, not playing it because of what other people said on Twitter or social media, right? The hive mentality effect and stuff, right? And, like, it just becomes not cool. You can't, if you talk about it, if you play it, it's like you're an apologist or whatever. But, like, ultimately what happened was, guess what? That EA anthemed this Battlefield, right?
It's almost like we wish Ubisoft had some of the EA IPs and then vice versa. It's like at least Ubisoft will put in some, I guess, effort to, bring back a resurgence to some of their games, but EA is like, we're spending more than we expected. Yeah, cut it off. Just
right. And we can talk about Ubisoft for days too, because like they're trying to throw a bunch of shit at the wall and hit a home run with some kind of free-to-play game, but they got the best thing in the world right now with Division 2 that they could 100% run away with, and they just
they try to give up on it, and then until Xbox is what brought the community back, because when they gave it the 4K 60 ultra settings or high settings, people flocked back into it, and it was a huge increase of players, and they were like, "Holy shit!"
Mm-hmm.
All that happened was they increased the fidelity, better frame rate, and gave it a little bit of better volumetric flog and things like that, and boom, there's a plus. Everyone's like, "Holy crap, this is amazing again." It feels totally different. And they're like, "Let's keep on. Let's not give up on this game, because
you give players respect, they'll retreat it back with you with purchasing new content. That's how it works.
Well, now they dedicated a small team to it, and they're going to continue to make seasonal content, and like it's fun. We've been playing Division 2. We've been having a lot of fun the last couple weeks, right? And we know that there's more coming. Now, like, what is it, tomorrow? There's more. The next phase of this comes out or whatever. Title update also comes out within a week. Another update on the game. So man, it's like it kind of goes to show, like, EA, I don't think really they know how to run it with. The only team at EA that's really proven to know how to do anything right now is Respawn.
Yeah. Every other team seems lost. Walking in the darkness.
And then their indie publishing group, right? That goes out.
So that means EA is probably going to close Respawn soon then.
Well, like, Respawn's got Apex Legends, right? They got Titanfall, right? Even though they didn't necessarily find the player base because EA fucked them over.
Apex wasn't off the rip was fantastic. It wasn't.
I had a blast with it right away, but
it lacked a lot of content. I remember it wasn't until I think season 3 is when it really exploded that I saw a lot more people out in the community really hyping up Apex, where it is now. Like, everyone is playing most people are playing Apex.
Well, that's just because it takes time for the word of mouth to spread and people to actually give the game a shot and stuff.
But it wasn't like that.
It was a sensation right away on Twitch and everything. It was like huge. It was like the number one game for a while, right? On Twitch and everything, right when it came out.
Like, I'm a big Titanfall fan, so when was no wall running, I'm like, well, this ain't fucking Titanfall. This is just pilots minus a lot of features. So it's just like a prequel to that wall running, and
it's just a battle royale hero shooter, pretty much.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't. It was just like it was like the Titanfall style characters and guns.
I remember the reason, like, when Apex came out, it worked because it was just like a shadow drop, because there was like a leak a day before. It's like, what the hell is this? And then the next day it's like, and the game's out. And it's like, what the it's like no game's ever done.
I got sucked into that game hardcore, man. Like, that's the only game I played for months. And I remember thinking when I was playing, it's like, when I was really into Apex, that first like couple seasons, I was like, I hadn't been into a game like that since Halo 2 or Call of Duty 4, right? It hooked me. It hooked me big time. you know. And it's a great game. I still like to play it now. I don't play it as much as I did back then, but every once in a while I'll hop back into it. But they got something right with that, with the just solid gameplay. And again, the battle royale genre tricks people into not caring about how much content there is, because of the competitiveness of the match and the map, and every time you play you can have a different experience, right? And that's what's like hard for a game like Halo, I think, because you're taking a traditional arena-based shooter with all these different maps that people are used to, and then trying to force it into that a model, and I think it will work. I think it's going to work, but it's not as like, maybe they should have launched with the battle royale first. I don't know.
Halo is running a dangerous line though, because like if they don't have something by the end of season 3, it's with the amount of backlash they keep getting, it's just going to be.
Well, I think they will, because season 3 is going to have the Forge, right? And that's going to fix a lot of things, right? When you have Forge in there and you have the whole
they got to
community
stick to their promises.
aspect,
If they keep pushing their promises back, then it's going to get rough.
That's when, 100%. There's no more like delay, no more delays. The Xbox, period. No more delays. Like, I understand if things take longer, just don't announce it until you're ready.
Don't give us a date. Don't give us a time frame. If it's gonna, just fucking finish it and be done with it, you know. And that's the thing with like Halo, solid gameplay wise.
Halo, people have given Halo a lot of leeway,
but because it's fun. What they have, it's fun, and it's, you know. But then big team battles was kind of broken for a minute, and then they fixed it. But then there was no new content. And that was like the thing. Like, if you're going to do this free play, you should have all this shit ready to go. I mean,
I know this week they just patched back in the tank gun and fixed the movement that they patched out last week or whatever. So they patched it back in now.
That's my thing. If you're going to have a game and you're developing a game, and you've already had a pre-establishing franchise where you had all these features, it just feels sucky to me when you release the game and all those features are gone, and then you promise it later as like a feature, like, wow, look, we added this. Like, that just sucks to me. Like, I love the model to some degree because of how long you can last and add content, but when you're first releasing a game and it's like lacking something that used to be like a staple, and now you're selling to us like, look at what we did, and you're like expecting praise and whatnot, that just sucks to me.
Well, you know, more transparent with the game.
Yeah, I was always on the train of, you know, no delay, no more delay. You know, I kind of have, because of them not being ready for the content drops, I have flipped on that. Like, because they should have been ready for the content drops. Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, I was okay with even the first season being 6 months, but when they announced season 2 was going to be another 6 month season, then that was like, okay, like, this just, they do not have the pipelines and systems in place to be able to do the basic things, right? So you see other content and other games that have had people criticize them for lack of content that have had better pipeline flow within the first year. This is like going into a year where all we got is 2 new maps, right? In an entire year. On a game like a Halo that's based around maps. Right, it just is, you know. So I still think it's going to be okay, but if this is where they were going to be at, they should have waited until this holiday. So I had flipped on that, only not because at the time, but because of what I've seen in this year since, right? Because I even back then I was like,
3 for 3 is doing.
They fucked it up, you know. They did. I mean, they didn't have their stuff in line. You know, and that kind of goes with Xbox, with a lot of the criticism people have had, where we had criticism of Xbox too. Like, there's valid criticism to be made. Is Xbox going to be okay? Yes. Is Game Pass going to be okay because some random people said that they're unsubscribing or whatever? Yes. And in fact, if you look at the sales numbers, they're doing more than okay.
I mean, if you're unsubscribing, you might as well just throw your Xbox out the window, because, like, what's the point, you know?
Don't give them any ideas, man.
It's like, I agree, man, and I think Xbox, they're gonna be fine. there is valid criticism to be had that we've been saying on these shows that their first party problem needs to be solved, and no more excuses or announcing things that you plan to not come out at
What are
least
those
like
numbers?
soon. Yeah, what are these?
This is VG charts, and as was proven the last release time when they came out with a bunch of numbers like about a month ago. These have been pretty accurate actually. So within reason.
These are consoles sold.
This is global.
Right? Oh, global. Okay.
So what I want to show is like the reason I bring this up is people are like, oh, we're gonna, it seems like people are trying to like sabotage Xbox Game Pass and like think it's gonna have some kind of impact on them, and like, oh, we're gonna speak with our wallets because there's not enough value here, when we already broke down the value proposition on the show between Game Pass and PS Plus Premium. It's no comparison. But also the other reason Xbox is gonna be fine is look at this, right? Okay, so you want to talk about gaining market share? Where they are right now. This is US on this first column. Okay, so 7.86 compared to 7.92. That's only a difference of 60,000 consoles, right? So that's 60,000 consoles. And if you look at the VG charts here, guess what? This past week in the US, they already did 33,000. So there's only a 60,000 gap. And this last week, they outsold them in the US by 33,000. Also outsold in the globally by 32,000. Right? So you do the math. Okay? I mean, you just do the math. How long before Xbox is the #1 selling console in the US, which this generation is the biggest market.
Yeah.
The funny part is this is before the first party AAA start, coming out on a regular basis. So if it's already doing these numbers with just Game Pass not having that.
And the other aspect is
I should take that back. 3 first party games: Psychonauts 2, Halo, and
Horizon.
Forza.
Horizon Forbidden 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. That is insane. It's the Game Pass factor. That is what is pushing these, because there's value. People don't buy things for no value.
You mean people just don't buy a $300 console for no reason? And it's like, they have
to settle,
nothing else to buy. I might as well waste my $300. Hey,
I'm just gonna.
I can't buy a PS5. I'm just gonna light my $300 on fire. No, that's not how it goes. So also look at this, right? I wanted to point this out. This is this generation, right? So globally, look at the ratio here, and this gap is narrowing. You're at 19.63 mil compared to 14.57. Okay, so you want to look at the market share this generation compared to the last. All you got to do is go up and look at the Xbox One and the PS4. PS4 overall did 117 million globally, compared to the Xbox One, 50.57.
Is there a way you can go back to last month on that?
Last month?
Yes.
I don't know if I can. I would have to fumble through it. But 50.57 compared to 100 and... What was it? 117. Now, where we're currently sitting, you're looking at 19.63 compared to 14.57. That is a huge market share difference this generation. And that massive.
5 million consoles ain't nothing.
Well, and you're seeing it with because of availability and all these other things, and also the availability of the Series S and the lack of availability on the PS5. This gap is actually decreasing every month.
If you continue that out to 100 million, you'd have 75 million Xbox consoles.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So what I'm saying is just look at the game. Xbox is doing fine, right? And this is like not even this is only consoles. This is not even 100% what Xbox this generation is all about. This is just one aspect of a way to access the ecosystem. As Game Pass, you can access also on the PC and all of those games, as well as you can access on the mobile devices and all these stuff. You also got
the streaming stick.
Coming out soon and all this other shit, right? So like,
Yeah, but that argument's going to get. You already see the fucking Twitter headline. It's going to be like, Xbox is counting streaming sexist console sales. It doesn't matter anymore.
Like it.
So dumb.
I mean, it really it to the people that say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter console sales 100% for the success of the Xbox business. It's a good thing to see that people are interested in buying the console as the brand, but like I would say that for everybody acting like console sales mattered for an entire generation, to all of a sudden act like they don't, like it's where you at? You know what I mean? Like you got to make up your mind, because right now the gap's closing, and if they're winning
now
in
this is not gonna
services,
matter.
if they're winning in all the other stuff, and they're also catching up in console sales, then what do you have left? And PlayStation's got to combat that.
I'm going
They
to
gotta
move the
increase their service.
goalpost this way now.
They're losing in the $70 per game front.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the narratives are gonna constantly change, because
They're losing
and they need
$10 a game.
Yeah, I think in the back of a lot of people's minds with Xbox is the fact to deliver on first party, and when they start delivering with their studios, I think a lot of people would be a little more lenient. But I don't know. I feel like there's always going to be those Kotaku articles out there with Xbox, and then they barely say anything on the PlayStation side. So I think how it's going to have to happen, if I was Phil Spencer, I really have to deliver on these first party games to sort of shut that crowd up. And not that I don't even think Phil cares, honestly. Like a lot of these narratives, like people like saying I'm going to get rid of my Game Pass subscription and a lot of this stuff. I do think it's a small portion of the audience comparatively to most people who game. I think they're very vocal, right? A lot of these people are very vocal about how their love or hate for Xbox and Game Pass. And the majority of people are just playing the games, and they're not saying much, but you could see with these numbers, like clearly like Xbox is doing something right with sales. And they are going to continue to do pretty good, especially when they start hitting on those first party games. So
I want to read a couple tweets real quick as well, man.
Yeah, go
because this is like going into the whole Game Pass thing, and like where people criticized it before for, oh well, they're not going to be able to. For example, PlayStation's mantra that they keep spewing out right now because it's bullshit, and they're an excuse for them not to have their first party games day one, is that it would lessen the quality of their games, right? And they would not be able to put as much into their games. I think that's a bunch of malarkey, because I think if they were to do that, they would get more subscribers, which then would turn in more revenue, which they'd be able to fund more games and more time, all this kind of stuff. Proven to be true for Microsoft, at least. But Tim Dog, shout out to Tim Dog, had quote tweeted something that caught my attention. In Exile Entertainment had posted, full creative freedom, financial support, and millions of gamers playing and loving our games. It's a dream, really. Highly recommend. Talking about Game Pass. And then Tim Dog was like, in Exile, saying how much they love working for Xbox. Hearing AAA coming from them and being worked on. Brian Fargo and team seem to be impressing people. Right? So then Brian Fargo from In Exile actually responds. He's a legendary game developer. It goes back to decades game development. It says, Microsoft have been perfect partners for us, and I've worked with a lot of people in my career. Nothing but encouragement, operational support, creative freedom, and respect for game development. So yes, I'm most impressed with them, and you will see their bets pay off. That last line is what gets me excited, right? Because what these basically saying is like, look, you're going to see all this investment that they've been making into all these acquisitions and all these people and all this stuff, all this talk. People are going to see the results, right? So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think they have so many talented people working at these studios. It's only a matter of time. Like right now, people are just frustrated because they can't, like, they could somewhat see it happening with at least last year's releases and stuff, but they can't fully, it's not in front of them yet.
Yeah.
So I think once it's in front of them, people will be like, oh, wow, you know, they're not going to be able to deny the value that is in Xbox. Like I think Game Pass itself is amazing value, and I think people tend to like, since people have been saying that for so long, they're like, oh, you know, people move on to the next thing of their topics or whatever. But yeah, I think he hit it on the nose with how many developers, how they feel at these studios. Xbox gives them a lot of freedom, and honestly, it just we have had conversations like, do they give them too much freedom? It stands to show, but we will know on June. We'll know how they stack up, what they've been working on.
Yeah, shout out to the chat, man. We've been having a lot of awesome people here hanging out watching the show.
Victor Click.
Yeah, Victor Click, Decado, Jesse B, a Triumphant Design. What's up? My beautiful wife Caitlin hanging out as well. Silent Cypher, Brian Hopkins. What's up to you, man? Everybody here, appreciate you. Infinite Umbra stopped by earlier. Tony Grasso as well. But yeah, guys, this is it's just interesting, kind of it's kind of like a where we're at type show, kind of like with weird stuff going on the internet. You know, the last couple of days. Shut up. Not shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up. Shout out to the Fifth Horseman. It's been lurking. Shut up, Fifth Horseman. Anyway, yeah, appreciate you, man.
Lurk somewhere else.
Now the next, we got the segment we do here on FSP called Tidbits.
We got a couple major games coming out this week.
Yeah, finally, man, we got some good ones. You know, we've had last week we didn't even do Tidbits because it was like 2 games and they both sucked, so I didn't even feel like doing it.
I think one of them might appeal to 3-bit and his love of ponies.
Yeah, I didn't put a trailer for that one though, just because the trauma. I think it's gonna get it's gonna get our show like shut down if I show any My Little Pony stuff. But hey, let's get into Tidbits. Now, everybody, welcome to Tidbits. This is the segment on FSP Fun Speculation Podcast where we take a look at the games coming out for the week ahead. Today is Monday, May 23rd. It's actually my sister's birthday. I called her earlier. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, sister.
And we're going to talk about this week's game releases. I got trailers lined up, ready to go, and we're going to take a look at these and kind of see what our thoughts are. And maybe there's something that you missed. Maybe there's something you didn't know was coming out. We'll start off with this game is coming to PC Game Pass day 1. It's called Hard Space Shipbreaker. Shipbreaker, not Shipbreaker. Shipbreaker. And that is that's coming out. When is that coming out, Fuzzy?
I think.
Oh, it's coming out tomorrow by midnight.
Okay.
Actually, I'm thinking it might be a midnight release tonight, so it might actually be available at least.
This is
download.
Just a job. It's an
Okay.
opportunity
What?
to be part of the largest, most successful.
My ears got
most
blasted.
pioneering
Sorry, I
This
turned it
reminds
down.
me of a Chorus. Is Chorus out?
This is
Yeah,
totally
Chorus
different
is
from
out,
Chorus.
but-
And Chorus has been out for a while, man.
There's a demo in on
to
Xbox too.
introduce your family,
Can see
the
that.
union.
Chorus is a
Xbox
lot
gives you
different
free
from
demos
this.
without a paid
Just
beyond the paywall.
Free?
So this is on PC Game Pass
Oh.
day 1.
That looks cool.
I don't know what it is still.
Yes.
That trailer did not tell me
Basically,
what it is.
if you've ever seen them break down like cargo ships and things like that, and like not in the Middle East, but like in like Southeast Asia and stuff like that, or around India, think about it's the same type of deal, but with spaceships. Basically, you're breaking them down, taking valuable parts, selling them, or recycling stuff, things like that. It's pretty cool as far as the physics model. Graphically, it's pretty decent. It's not going to be like your high fidelity stuff, but it is a good looking game, and it's kind of fun as far as like just taking
it's
ships
spaceship deconstructor simulator.
apart. Exactly.
Okay. If you've
Yeah,
always
that's
desired to
fun.
take
That's
apart a spaceship, this is the game for you. All right. Next
looks
up,
cool.
is Ni no Kuni. Crossworlds is coming out PC, Apple, and Android on the 25th. And is this like a sequel to the other Ni no Kunis, or do we know what this is? Like,
I think this is like their latest spin-off, so that way they can get some of the mobile market and the PC market.
Yeah, this seems just like a mobile game that they ported to PC, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, baby. Sorry, I'm texting with my wife. All right, here we go.
I just figured out what that symbol meant now. Okay.
That means phone. It means check your phone.
Yeah.
I started Ni no Kuni 2. I didn't really get into it, but I heard the first one was great on the PS3. It was the first one on the PS3, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Came out like late in the PS3.
Yeah.
Is this the one that's out on cell phones?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
on mobile and PC.
Yeah, this looked interesting.
PC gaming is looking way better than the Switch lately.
Well, you got
I mean, not PC, but I mean mobile.
I was like,
Yeah, sorry. Always on PC. But like mobile games are starting to look better quality, you know, than the Switch. I think.
well, you got high quality phones like the S22 Ultra. And
Yeah.
also Nintendo used like a 3-year-old chip for the Switch anyway, so.
my cell phone does 1440p, 144 hertz. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a pretty looking game, man. I have to say.
Yeah,
I might actually try that out. I don't know how much is that, Fuzzy? Do you know?
That is if you sign up for it's I think free. If you have Android, if you go into their pre-install portion, you can actually have it ready once it comes out. You can have it
Pre-register, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, pre-register, and then you get free outfits and things like that just for pre-registering. I did already because I was like, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, that looked nice.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat talking about Brutal Legend. It is a great game. Jack Black. Maybe they'll make a sequel to that.
Yeah.
You know that they got. We saw Jack Black took part in the Psychonauts 2 soundtrack and stuff. So, all right, let's get to the next game here. Oh, this one's interesting, and you were just talking to me about this yesterday, Jasper.
Yep.
Roller Champions.
I think Kate potentially might like this because she likes Knockout City.
She likes Knockout City. Yeah.
I like Knockout City.
Is this Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Ubisoft. Yeah. Well, Xbox marketing behind this, I guess.
This is a free-to-play game.
Ooh.
So
Caitlin
Knockout City
is
meets
already eyeing it.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
I'm down to play this. I hated Rocket League. Sorry.
No, Rocket League is not a good game.
It's a good game. It's just I
you're
just
gonna-
hate it.
I kid, folks.
You're gonna piss off some Rocket League sweaties out there.
Frozen's gonna jump in and just sit here.
No, I don't even play because if Frozen comes on, I'm like, no, I'm done. Because whatever team he's on is winning.
Oh, we get annihilated. It's insane. I mean, he like outscore us like 10-0.
He's insane.
It seems
He's
like
not-
my type of game though. This is cool.
Yeah.
I
Didn't we-
want to see
hold on.
gameplay.
June. Or no,
I think this is CGI instead of actual gameplay,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I can imagine it's not going to be too far off.
If it doesn't look like this, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Oh, it's not gonna look like this.
I know, I'm
Whereas
just kidding.
Ubisoft,
Isn't
so
there
it's like
something like this?
Knockout
it
City?
should look close.
No.
Oh, you're talking about
it should,
that
it's not going to be like
All-Star
Watch Dogs or anything.
Isn't there a game that's like this?
I think you're thinking of
Well,
Knockout
Knockout
City.
City is like this kind of.
No.
Fusion Frenzy.
No, it
That
looks
PlayStation game?
just like this.
You talking about Destruction All Stars, kind of, or something?
No, Destruction All Star is with cars. Do you see cars in this? It looks exactly like this game. Exactly like this game.
Maybe
I
it's
mean,
this
Destruction
game.
All Star characters, the
tomorrow.
drivers kind
Yeah.
of look like these, but
Oh,
It's
I'm playing
it's
that tomorrow.
on the
That's
25th.
cool.
So that's
Yes, tomorrow.
I'll have to look.
I
today's the
don't know.
23rd.
I could have swore they said free to play was June
12 o'clock.
1st, so I don't know if this is like a pay to early play or something, but I could have swore they said June 1st was free to play, but maybe I'm thinking of another game.
I'm not sure.
What,
Right.
game, what was that game called again?
Roller
Champions.
Roller Champions.
All right, next up, we got a big one.
date.
We got a big one, guys. This is also Game
Not
Pass.
the biggest though.
This is Game Pass Day 1. Comes out on the 26th from a studio that I feel like needs more. They need to be applauded more for what they do because they make good, polished games that play really well. They work online and they're fun to play. So shout out to this game, Sniper Elite 5, hitting Game Pass Day 1.
When it loads.
Steel wheels of the Nazi war
If it
machine crush
Is it not loading for you?
everything in their
No.
path.
No, I'm watching.
Oh, okay. I guess it just bugged me.
Relentless,
Your Kentucky internet.
ruthless. They dominate and destroy, casting a foul shadow across mainland Europe. Now we must strike back. Living
I've never really gotten into a Sniper Elite
killing
before. This is gonna be my first one to really try and play with friends.
Yeah,
the
same.
most
I'm really excited
if you-
because I don't
If you
have to
play on
buy
the
it.
hardest difficulty, like I tried it on the hardest difficulty, I had to go and like look up how to use an actual sniper rifle because like you gotta like check your mills and like calculate distance and stuff. So it can get really hard if you put it on the hardest difficulty.
Oh, really? Wow.
You gotta like check for windage. And,
It has co-op too, right?
Yeah.
most of them have.
If we
So I wouldn't.
do not take them,
You play as a spotter.
Oh no, just a backup sniper so you can like kind of time shots.
we must be ready.
Is this the one that kind of has like that Mortal Kombat like esque thing that happens when you get a bullet go
You
through?
hit bullet cam and then it goes and hits something. You see X-ray of like skeletons cracking
Right.
and organs exploding.
Don't they have testicles that explode in this too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team it for shooting Hitler in the nuts in one of them.
Right on. Hey, this is hitting again. Game Pass Day 1.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sniper
I
Elite
just like
5.
setting up the traps. Like if they find my location, I'm usually gone by the time they get there, and they wind up finding the mine or whatever I set up there for a booby trap.
Oh, why does he sound like he's what is it, Senator Palpatine? I don't know.
Palpatine? Palpal?
I need
Palpatine.
unlimited
Palpatine.
power.
Palpatine.
Palpatine.
All right, next is
Palpatine.
hey, check
Oh.
out this game.
By the way,
KhAos the
before-
kangaroo or KhAos the kangaroo.
Am I muted?
Let's
No.
go.
We're still bandaged.
What's that?
No, I was gonna say I remember why I remember that game because it came out. There was a trailer in 2019 for PlayStation's showcase. And that's why it looked so familiar because that's how long we. last seen
Oh,
it.
was that long ago? Wow.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why I was like, I know
they-
this game, but that's
Well,
why.
the
Sorry.
that kangaroo game, it goes back even 10 years or so. There was like a earlier version of it, but it really reminds me of kind of like Super Lucky's Tale, but with a kangaroo kind of.
I was thinking kind of like Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Let's check it out.
Mm.
Is it KO or cow?
I think it's cow.
Cow the kangaroo.
You definitely
Yeah,
just got wrecked.
Oh,
with
whoa.
copyright right there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like
This looks
almost
kinda cool.
like Crash. You know?
Yeah, it's like
Is that
Ty
Game
the
Pass?
Tasmanian Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not
Exactly.
in Game Pass.
Dang it.
It looks like it could be fun.
See, Phil needs more games like this in Game Pass. Give me some Crash
Fam-
Bandicoot ripoffs.
Yeah.
yeah, family-friendly games.
Yeah,
We got
family
Super
friendly.
Lucky's Tale.
I have a feeling this will
Oh, yeah, I
probably
haven't
make
tried
it into Game Pass within like 3 months or 6 months.
How the Kangaroo Summer 2022.
Seems like again my type of game. I'll play it.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
too many
believe it or not.
platformers. Platformers
It does
are
look
fun.
like a fun cutesy game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try. It looks way better than Balan Wonder World ended up looking. All right.
That was not good.
No, I was excited about that, and then it just was like, no, okay. Next up is Pac-Man Museum. If you haven't played a Pac-Man game before, then this is the Pac-Man game for you because it's got all the Pac-Man games.
There's more than one.
Day and date.
Yeah, there's Pac-Man and Miss
like
Pac-Man
the
and
champion.
Pac-Man.
Arcade.
Oh, this is Game Pass also.
Where you
Damn
can
it, yeah.
enjoy 14 different
Oh, wow.
Pac-Man titles.
14.
It's
No.
Yeah, we're gonna get shit tons of Pac-Man in Game Pass. That's worth $14.99 a month alone.
Pac-Man games to unlock
Yeah.
missions and collect coins. Complete missions and use coins to win arcade machines, decorations, figures, and more. There are so many items to unlock. Let's customize the arcade. Create your own arcade layout with the items you collect.
Oh, cool.
Change the floor and wall patterns.
Yeah, make our own little museum, I mean, our own arcade full of only Pac-Man games. That's what everybody always wanted.
Pac-Man in your own unique arcade.
Hey, what other games you got? I got Miss Pac-Man. What else you got? I got Pac-Man 2. What else you got? Pac-Man 3.
Plus.
Cool.
Heck yeah.
You got 14 Pac-Man games.
Includes 5 figures you can use to display in your
Pac-Man.
I mean,
3D.
I have no reason not to try it if it's in Game Pass.
Pac-Man Adventures.
You know,
Pac-Man Adventures 2.
Champions is really good. It's like the first Pac-Man, but it's more colorful and it has cool effects, and it does a little screen shake if you do cool things.
Mm.
So
Yeah, wasn't that the or was it DX that was the
oh,
Xbox Live Arcade?
maybe I'm thinking
DX,
about
I think.
DX was like that really colorful, like
Yeah, and you
tripped
could
out
like chain the,
neon.
like the ghost would like have like 100 ghosts in a train, and you could just like eat them all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in there, right?
I don't know.
I didn't see DX. I was
And
looking
we
How
need
for
a
many
list.
different
I thought
Pac-Man
that
games?
was the
There's
champion.
14. How many are we missing?
Yeah, okay. Pac-Man.
There's a Pac-Man
Museum.
remastered.
Let's see what Pac-Man games come with Pac-Man Museum. It's only
is really
$20 if
important.
you want to buy it separately, but weirdly it's $30 on the Switch.
You know, that next gen text for the OLED screen.
At least that's what it says on Amazon. I don't. Is that accurate? Are Switch users having to pay $10 more?
It's Nintendo, sounds about right.
Yeah.
They'll pay for anything.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, if you
I
don't
mean,
like
I'll
it,
show you this.
Complain.
Nintendo Switch tax.
That's what it
Yeah.
says on my screen right now. I mean, I don't know if that's accurate, but
Is it fit
GameStop.
for physical?
Yeah,
Listen,
it's for
Nintendo
physical. $30 from GameStop.
If you don't want to pay $10,
I think that's probably because you can only get it physical on Nintendo, and they actually had to print cartridges for it. But you can also get it digitally if you want. Like digitally, it's probably 20 still on Nintendo. But if you want a
Well-
physical, it's 30.
Well, no, it's physical for 20 on Xbox and PlayStation.
And how much is it on Switch?
They make a physical game for $20. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, look, I'll show you. It's on Amazon, $19.99 with Prime.
$19.99.
Xbox Series X. If I switch it over to the Switch, it's $29.99. If I switch it over to the PS4, it's $19.99.
I guess it's discs versus like those cards.
So
Here.
the Switch is
Cartridges.
costing more.
Yeah, the
The
Switch
Switch costs-
cartridges have always cost more because it's
So you're paying. Okay, sure.
You're paying $10 extra to play it on the Switch. That's interesting. Okay.
It's
Anyway.
so dumb.
Well, they know people are going to want to play this on the go, so they can get that extra $10.
Well, we won't have to
Yeah.
worry about that with Floppy Nights, which.
Is that your segue?
Yeah, Jasper put this in there. It's coming. This is also coming to Game Pass.
Xbox exclusive.
This is day one release on Game Pass, and it's also coming to PC. This comes out tomorrow. Floppy Nights. Let's go. This looks like a strategy game. A card battle strategy Floppy Nights.
I'm done with card games. Sorry.
Looks interesting.
Maybe people saw. I won't say it. Never mind.
I'm not a fan of card games like this.
I'm joking, but maybe people saw this game and were like, "I'm unsubscribing to Game Pass."
But this is an exclusive.
Yeah.
Is this PC Game Pass or Xbox?
It's on Game Pass
it's both.
and Game. I think it's both. Tony
Sony
says it's
bought
already
this.
dropped on Game Pass. Okay.
Yeah. Sony bought the studios after this released on Game Pass.
And then we got one more game, although I'm not bringing up the trailer because I just know I'll get like video.
But it's the best game.
What game is it? How are you not going to play the last game?
Yeah, you
Because
can't
I'm going to
just-
get copyright. Okay.
Mute it then!
I'll mute it.
Yeah,
I'll
just
mute
mute
it. Okay. I'll bring it up.
Also,
This is
I
the
don't think I'll
game for
play
all
it.
of the ponies out there that unsubscribe. They're going to want to resubscribe. Just
Well,
for
this isn't in Game Pass. This is you have to buy this one.
Oh, what are you doing, Phil? Come on.
This
Bring
one
the
you got to
ponies
buy.
What game is... What?
It's $40 though. It's
My
not
Little
$60.
Pony, a Maritime Bay Adventure video game. I haven't muted because I know I'll get copyright struck.
I think it's actually talking. It's like
That is...
this
No,
is maritime, and she's the pony.
There's like the My Little Pony music in the background.
Oh,
No.
My
I
Little
thought
Pony.
I thought I saw this in the PlayStation subscription list.
Are you serious?
he's lying.
Damn,
fun
PS.
this-
You know
It's a
what?
horsey. It's a
It's-
horsey.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Customize your own pony.
You got like 5 options. Oh my gosh.
It's a
Play with
$40
a
game.
friend.
Oh, there's multiplayer. Something.
Oh, this
in-
co-op
Oh.
That's something. It's doing better than
Uh,
most what Sony would do.
This looks funner
It's
than
got that Paul Rapper the Rapper
Destruction All Stars.
Oh, it's a
This
big
looks
ass
better than
pumpkin.
Bug Snacks.
It looks better than Super Mario Land.
Wow!
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just
Wow!
kidding. I'm taking it back. It definitely looks better than that Astro's Playroom.
You think there's some ray tracing in that? Some 4K 60?
Yeah, just on the hooves.
You got some
Good hook.
photogrammetry up in there.
Get some.
Just on the hooves and the puddles. That's it.
We got some AMD FX up in there.
You got Fidelity FX. You got VRR. You got AMD.
Ray
Fucking
traced fur.
2.5
some
shit,
ray traced.
whatever. You got as Kate says, the most important thing though is you got Twilight Sparkle, you
Twilight.
got Fluttershy, you got Applejack, you also got Rainbow Dash. Don't forget about Rainbow Dash.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna buy it if it didn't have Rainbow Dash. So
You got all of the
Now-
ponies.
Hold on. Are those actual names of characters in My Little
yes,
Yes.
Yeah. Twilight, Sparkle, Fluttershy,
Yeah.
Applejack.
You're not familiar?
I've only heard of Fluttershy. Isn't that a photo thing?
It sounds like
Stop.
one of those like digital photo print shops.
Yeah.
Hey, sign up for
Flutter.
Fluttershy for $9.99 a month. Maybe you're gonna unsubscribe from Fluttershy next month, Jasper.
Okay.
That looked better than the floppy game.
There's
You could
also
actually
like
play it co-op.
Princess Celeste. I think there's like a Princess Cadence as well.
Is he saying you need rarity, or is rarity? a
Rarity is
pony
one
name?
of them? Yeah.
Oh,
We just
really?
did a
Oh.
My Little Pony word search with my daughter the other day, so a lot of these are fresh in my mind.
Just
Oh,
knew-
Shutterfly. That's what. Thank you, Jesse.
Shutterfly.
Shutterfly. Oh, the high school pictures. My kids usually get those every
Wait,
year.
high school upgraded to Shutterfly?
Yeah.
Damn, school's got
Upgrade.
nice.
Celestia. Thanks, Jesse. Shout out to all the bronies out there, all the My Little Pony fans as well. I know that you're excited for for this game.
You should have played the 3-bit pony song for that trailer.
I'll save that. For
He
another
probably
time.
get copyright claimed.
By himself?
By me.
No, what was it? PewDiePie? PewDiePie had put, what is it? Free music, all right? That you can't get copyright claims or anything. And somebody claimed his shit. And now he can't use his own music that he put out there because he got copyright claimed. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's what was happening with Mav's Xbox intro.
And that's just crazy. And YouTube's just like, sorry, can't do shit about it. Like, I fucking put the music out there. It's my music.
I think
Yeah.
that they probably
Pony
fixed
named
it by now.
Grilled
Like,
cheese.
And my
This is a very recent video, so I don't know.
yeah, that happened to
I
me
know
with
what-
Xbox Ultimate, and they fixed. I mean, they got rid of it.
Yeah, that's like because when that was happening, I told you PewDiePie was having that problem. Like, so this is
Yeah.
old.
yeah. Other
Unless it was
people
happening
like,
This
again.
is just
Just
recent
start-
too.
claiming it. Like if you go to like my section on YouTube, I could like claim so many things bogusly. Like it's just a shit tons of list of videos out there that YouTube flags as possibly using our content, which is like not the case whatsoever. And you can just go and like, oh, claim this, claim this, claim this, claim this if you wanted to. There's people out there that do that kind of stuff. Because
Wow,
they're
I
trying
thought
to.
she
See
was
what
kidding.
cheese sandwich looks like.
I thought she was kidding.
Yep, that's a
Uh-oh.
cheese
Yeah.
sandwich.
Cheese sandwich is real. It's
They
real.
just run out of names.
I
I'd
think they
take
were
a
just
bite out of
hungry
that.
when they made the name. I think a lot of the My Little Pony people were hungry. Applejack, you know,
That's a cereal.
cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they're eating.
You got Pinkie Pride.
Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie Pie?
Pinkie Pie. That's like
Oh,
the most
Pinkie Pie,
famous
yeah.
character. That's like the star of the show is Pinkie Pie.
But when you scroll down in the cheese sandwich, it says like it says all these quotes and it says Pinkie Pride.
Maybe
That's a quote. That's what. If it's a quote, that's what she says.
Yeah, the person who says it says
Oh.
Pinkie Pride.
Maybe they're
don't
prideful
know.
of Pinkie Pie.
Maybe I don't know.
Not sure. We'll find
I
out.
don't know.
The mystery
day.
continues. Now, this next episode of What's Going On in My Little Pony. Not the kind of Pinkie Pie you're thinking of, Psycho. Kate says.
Oh,
Tricky
Pinkie
bone.
Pride is in the 12th episode of season 4.
It's a person.
Oh, see?
I mean, a horse.
What do you know?
Character.
Yeah.
A pony.
Pinkie Pride.
Where's this conversation going, guys?
I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
everybody, that's it for FSP 22. I want to thank the chat, everybody for hanging out tonight, enjoying the show. We had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. So yeah, Fuzzy, thanks again for always being here. And where can everybody find you, sir?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone in the chat today. And man, always love doing this with you guys. For anybody that wants to hear my ramblings on anything gaming related, just follow me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on Breakfast with Boom. It'll be actually this Thursday at 10 a.m. On Friday night, you can find me on Xbox Ultimate at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shop Podcast on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then back here again next Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you again.
Appreciate you always, Fuzz. Thanks for sending the links out for the YouTube stuff for me. Also, 3-bit, amazingly talented duck animator extraordinaire. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Everyone can follow me on Twitter at i3bit. I'll be making a formal announcement whether or not I subscribe or unsubscribe tomorrow, so
Okay.
look out for that. And yeah, you guys could follow me on there. I'm trying to see if I can post things from my work from like ad agency stuff that I work on. But I possibly could be joining a certain game studio soon. These people know about it.
Will we lose you off of our shows, or is that going to be part of the deal? Like, is that? I don't know. I'm curious.
What? Like joining a game studio, or
Yeah.
What do you
know
mean?
what I mean? Officially, like if you're officially working for one of them. Does that come with
Oh.
ramifications of not being allowed to be?
Oh yeah, not being able to talk about things. I mean, if I join this,
Because
certain
we're more
studio-
important than your career. So
Well, I think he
No,
just
just
can't
kidding.
talk. We just can't drill him live on air.
we can,
I'll just
I
be
don't-
like,
we stopped doing that a while back. I mean, we tried it, then we kept getting flagged for
no, I will just like, as soon as these topics pop out, if this studio happens, I'll just But
why'd you take it there,
what? Huh?
Mav? I know
I'm
why you
sorry.
tried to take
I mean, you're talking about drilling 3-bit. It's the first thing that pops in everybody's.
but that's
I didn't even guess
Is
that.
it just me? Oh,
Oh my god.
that's not where I was going with
oh,
it.
I'm sorry.
Holy
Psycho freaking
That's
expensive,
That's where I took it when
Wow.
Matt said it, but
wow.
I mean, how else am I supposed to take that? I mean, if somebody says drilling,
Oh.
Oh gosh.
I'm
That's
sorry
where
for
you guys
that.
can find me.
Sorry, chat.
audience. That's where you guys can find me. Or in Mavs. Wait, I'm on
What?
other shows. Sorry.
Or where 3-bit? Where else can we find you?
Where are you
Or in
gonna
Mav's
find
where?
Mav? Where you gonna find
Mavs
find
other
you in
shows.
Mav's what?
Mavs other shows. Xbox Ultimate.
Oh, okay.
Occasionally. Fun Pop. In here. So goodbye.
Catch me in 3-bit on Fun Pop. Hey, 3-bit, are you going to be on Fun Pop this week?
I will be, yeah.
You will be? Okay, because you weren't there last week, you're going to have to judge something for us.
Oh, cool.
how well we do at drilling.
Caitlin. Fuck.
Like me and Jasper are teaming up, and we're going against Kate and Psycho. Okay.
Oh.
And
Like-
we have to each come up with our own kart racers on Fun Pop. And me and
forgot.
Jasper's is going to be a DC kart racer, and Psycho and Kate's is going to be a Marvel. Okay, we got to come up with the characters, the concept, like what they're going to be, like everything. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna be the judge
I
as
was
a game
picturing-
designer, a game developer. You hold weight here. Okay.
Like everything, like design of like how
Well,
it
we're not
races
making
and
We're gonna
everything,
talk
or-
about what they're driving, who the
Yeah.
characters are, and what their
Okay.
abilities are.
Psycho's
Okay.
team has an unfair advantage because we gave him 75% of the ideas last week.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could judge it. Or if
But
I
I
have
wasn't
time, I could
there
try.
for that
Yeah.
most of it, so I don't remember.
Psychonauts, the mellow fellow, vitamin boy from outer space. What's up, man? Where can everybody find you, sir?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Sorry that I'm late. I was working, but
Are you still
yeah,
high
you
on
guys-
vitamin C?
No, man.
He's on that
I
vitamin
don't-
D.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin D.
No. Far from that. No. I am just been playing some Xbox and shit. And you guys can find me. Thanks, chat, by the way, for having great conversations tonight. You guys are fantastic. And you guys can find me everywhere at online and shit, I guess.
How are you playing Xbox as it
Find me
has no
whence-
games?
Yeah, well, shut up. Hey, we're not talking about your and Mav's new show, 3-Bit Mav After Hours, so or After Dark or whatever the new show.
Drilled by Mav.
After dark.
Featuring.
Drilled.
What?
Hold on. What?
This was the segment where I just asked
All
him
right.
a lot of hard questions.
Yeah.
Do you have guests on that show?
Only one. 3-bit every week.
Where you drill them with hard questions.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you can find me Fun Pop 7 o'clock, Xbox Ultimate 9 o'clock. Thank you. I won't be on that show.
You got to talk about Halo. You guys finish Halo.
Yeah, I liked Halo, but
Yeah. We're going to
Really?
talk a lot about the last episode of Halo. Also,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
for sure. Jasper, the realist, the lore master himself. Where can everybody find you?
Well, actually, if you go to Twitter, you can type in Lord Jasper and
Forgot to do my accent.
yeah. You can go to Twitter, type in Lord Jasper. You can find me there. Lord Master Jasper on YouTube. FSPs Monday, 10 o'clock at night. Wednesdays, Fun Pop, 7 p.m. Eastern. And Friday, Xbox Ultimate, 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's about it. So just tune into the Fun Speculation channel.
Maybe wanting to do Fun Pop later, too, eventually.
We did. It was at 10 o'clock.
I think we did. We did, and then 3-Bits like, I need it earlier, and then he just left the show.
We did it later.
We did it earlier. No.
Yeah.
We did it. We did it earlier in the beginning, right?
We did it on Sundays at 3.
Yeah.
It started Sundays at 3. Then we moved it to, I think,
like 5 or 6.
Another day at like fucking 10 o'clock at night. And then we went down, I think, an hour. And then
it was early. It was, we changed Fun Pop probably the most out of any show.
Yeah,
I think it started
of my work schedule at the time. I was like, you couldn't do Sundays anymore at 3. So we went to multiple days. So it's the most shuffled show that we have, but it was hard to try to nail down all of us trying to be there.
We don't nail in here, we drill.
Oh, drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll discuss. If there's no objections,
Bro,
maybe we'll
go to bed.
And Jasper, wait, I already did that. Wait, did I already do your outro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where
Did you
can
already
we do
say,
Jasper?
Did you already say the whole
Hold
thing?
on. Did you do Jasper? Did he?
Did I already drill you, Jasper?
Oh yeah, we got some drilling done on Division the other night.
Okay, we did.
Okay.
Oh
All
man,
right.
we finished the
Now-
summit.
Mav, now tell everybody where they can find you and your lovely drilling.
Did we already get Fuzzy's outro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Okay, I just want to make sure, man. It's like I have such a shit memory. All right, everybody, come check out Fun
Dementia.
Speculation on Twitter. You can find out when we're going live and all this fun stuff. Hit the notifications on YouTube. You can find out when we're going live and all that fun stuff. Mondays, as always, FSP here at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesdays at Fun Pop, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Halo show. All this fun talk is right now at 7 p.m. Eastern Wednesdays. Maybe going to move it. We'll see. I'll talk to these guys. Thursdays, PM in the PM with Pong Soul and I at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't want to miss that show every week. We have a blast, deep diving on some topics. And then Fridays for the show that started it all. We're going to have episode 90 this week. Episode 90, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're getting ramped up and ready for the next couple weeks of announcements. This is going to be a blast. We got lots of content coming to you for coverage on all those showcases and everything going between the 9th and the 12th. So I hope you all enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the show today. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
You gotta do your outro.
What?
You forgot to do your outro.
Didn't I just do that? I don't.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Everybody, check me out on Twitter at FunSpec. No. All right. You thought you could get me. I mean, I'm not Ron Burgundy. Okay, like I'm not that bad. All right, everybody.
I won't be there. Xbox Ultimate Friday.
You're gonna be jamming out with Dave Matthews Band.
It's gonna be a West Palm Beach.
Right on. Yeah, last time you were at a Dave Matthews Band concert, we didn't hear from you for a couple days. We got a little worried.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens this time. Bye, everybody.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.